Sick. Because I want everybody to see me fucking murder Stan with my fucking
Live on air?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Just so your parents know how you went out, Stan.
Why, you think they watched the show?
Well, if I were to kill you, there would be, police checking shit out. I'm like, oh no, the asshole did it like this.
Who's the asshole? You?
I guess.
I agree.
Or the genius.
I agree. Nah, nobody'd be like Genius. They'd be like, what a douche. Killed his poor co-host for no reason. Just to show that his little pocket fucking bottle opener was cool. A little uncalled for.
Yeah, I like that.
What do we got? Episode 25.
Episode 25. We're gonna call Steve Blackman here within the next 5 minutes.
Do we think we're gonna do an episode on Thursday? Maybe, but we're definitely.
Well, let's just see what the people have to say.
Well, we'll see what our time's like because we want to maybe do. This episode was going to be a WrestleMania recap a little bit, talk to some wrestlers about some life, and then we were going to talk a little bit of MMA preview UFC 236. Also, a little bit of the bare knuckle boxing this weekend. But we'll see what happens. We are in Travel Outdoors again, though, in case you were wondering.
I put it on podcasts.
Yeah, they don't care. Twitch is fucking with you.
I'm gonna talk to Twitch first thing tomorrow morning.
You have people there you could probably talk to, right? Like, legitimately. Yeah, they know who Dennis Bermudez is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once you reach out to them.
They don't know who Stan the Man is yet.
No, they will.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely they will.
Yeah, so like...
So now where'd you post that so I could repost it?
What? My little...
Yeah.
Hoo-ha? It was on Instagram, you silly goose.
No, not that hoo-ha. Oh, never mind. I know what I'm doing. I wanted to share your channel.
Yeah, it's easy. Just type it in.
Okay.
So go to whatever page you want to go. Say, check us out live at www.twitch.tv/Menace Bermudez.
Do you think if I do that, a whole thing's going to come up, right? It's going to...
Yes, that's the link, my friend.
The internet, always amazing.
It is the link.
So, when are you going to call Steve Blackman?
I could call him right now. I just didn't know if you wanted some things to talk to me about.
I mean, we always could. I just didn't want to leave him waiting. He's good, though?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you say? Anytime after 7:15? I mean, our first obvious...
Well, no, he's...
Our first obvious thing we could talk about is the news today that dropped was TJ Dillashaw.
Oof. Let's get Steve Blackman's opinion on it.
Do you think, does he follow MMA like that or not really?
Oh, I don't know.
So then why are you going to ask his opinion on something that doesn't follow?
Because he could tell us about...
I'd rather get some fucking times when he beat up other pro wrestlers.
Yeah, we're going to get that.
Right. See if he watched WrestleMania.
I don't think the answer is yes. No ringback tone for Steve Blackman, huh? I should really have it.
No.
Hello.
Steve Blackman.
What's up?
How are you, my man? Welcome. Menace and the Man. Stan the Man here. Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Your favorite fighter.
Oh, who's that guy there sitting with you? Dennis.
I was going to say,
What's up, guys?
Is he really your favorite fighter? I was going to say.
Well, he's certainly one of my better fighters.
But not his favorite.
Not his favorite.
Nah, he could be one of my favorites. I had all the guys in there were good. I had a lot of good fighters, a lot of good guys. I can't single one guy out.
Are you still training guys?
Nope. I stopped that a few years ago. My kids are young. My son's 7, my daughter's 11. They're the only two I work with. I have a second garage in my house. That's nothing but wrestling mats and weights and bags. So I work with them out there. He's 7. He's already got 2 years of wrestling in. And my daughter, I just teach her boxing and jiu-jitsu.
Oh, there you go. So you're training them young. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they're in the mood to do it, at their ages, it's not like they're dying to go out there and practice boxing with dad. But put it this way, it's easier in the winter time than it is the summer.
If there was a zombie apocalypse, Steve Blackman's house is the house you want to go to. His kids know martial arts. He knows like 7 different disciplines of mixed martial arts, or not mixed martial arts. And he's got a huge gun collection, right, Steve?
I do. My house runs on a generator, big gun collection, well water, on the woods. Just happened to work out that way.
No, you got madness behind your method.
Oh, I like that. Not madness behind it, menace behind it.
No, I said madness.
I thought you said
No,
menace.
I got a slur.
Oh.
But anyways, Steve, you were born and raised in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
And let's start there. Let's get a little bio on Steve Blackman. Like, you were one of 3 brothers, no?
Yes.
And
Yep.
you're the middle guy?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yeah, so I set the good example for everybody.
Right. Well, you and your brothers were like going back and forth for setting the bench press record in high school, no?
Yeah, that is, I guess that is correct. Now, I mean, like me and my younger brother always worked out. My middle brother, he always looked lean and in shape. He just didn't work out. He just happened to stay like that. But yeah, I think when I was in high school, I did 405. My brother Dan, that never worked out, did 360. But then my younger brother Mike did 4 something. So we were the only 2 in that high school that had benched over 400 in high school.
Right. What's Xander bench pressing right now? That's your son.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've learned from me growing up. He's not touching weights till he gets older. Push-ups,
Okay.
squats,
Okay.
you know, wrestling, all that stuff. So he does push-ups with me. But
Right. So what was it like growing up in a Blackman household? Did you get your ass whooped? How'd that work?
No, he was the oldest brother. He was
No,
whooping
I'm
it.
talking about his
we had
dad,
the-
like his
we had the-
discipline.
we had the craziest household around. All of us had busy friends, athletic friends. It was a crazy place. My brothers and I were always fighting. It was brutal. I look back on those days, and I wish I could do it over and do it different because it was just a lot of chaos. You know, with my brothers and I arguing or fighting and just crap like that. I mean, like, you know, one time I went to the store and just grabbed a little protein bar and a thing of milk and put it on the table. And I came back in the kitchen 1 minute later, and my brother had eaten it, and he knew I just went to the store to buy it. And I walked down the garage, and he was working on his brand new hidden car that he had painted like 2 days before. He just drove it home. And I said, "No, where's my bar and my milk?" And he just kept his head under the hood and wouldn't even look up at me. So I kicked the side of his car in, and he just drove it home with his brand new paint job. And then he picked up a crowbar and fired it at me, and I ducked, and it bounced off the wall, and I happened to catch it. It flew right at me, and I took off after him and chased him down the street to his buddy's house. That's what happened all the time. It was just a madhouse.
Hang on now, Steve. They had protein bars back then?
It was a granola bar, I think.
Yeah.
I just tried to say protein bar sounded better, but it was a granola bar. Granola bars nowadays are junk.
Oh my gosh.
It was
And then where in Pennsylvania did you grow up?
and we went to Anvil, Cleona.
Is that near Harrisburg?
It's Lebanon Valley College area.
Okay.
It's 20 miles east of Harrisburg.
Okay. And then did you play any sports growing up?
Oh yeah, we all did. We all played
football,
all sports.
right?
I played.
Or no, you almost played Major League Baseball, no?
I played baseball all through into college. I played football up to college. We all played all sports.
But didn't you almost go
So-
pro in a different sport other than wrestling?
Well, yeah. I mean, I should have stayed. I mean, like I had football scholarships. I had baseball scholarships. You know, and I went to college for a year and didn't go back. I still had the scholarship offers even a year later. I made some poor choices back then. So after I was 22 and realized it just kind of pissed away the last 3 years of my life, bopping around in Florida, working in clubs and stuff, I went to wrestling school and did that. I should have just, you know, made a better choice at that time and stuck with one of those and would have had a pretty good shot at one of them. But, you know,
So
we
what
all
made
wish we could do some things over.
what made you decide to get into pro wrestling? Because I've met you, I've been around you a lot. Like, you don't seem like the guy with the outgoing charisma. And what made you like, you know what, I want to like slam people and
I was working down the bar in Florida. I was just tired of throwing people out all the time. They were open till 5 a.m. That's all I did. Hell, we used to keep track. I think there was 1 month we threw like 76 guys out in 1 month. I'm like, this just sucks, you know. And so I said to him, I just walked out the front door, and one of the guys walked out. He goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I've wasted 3 years of my life doing this crap, 40 and 50 hours a week." I said, I don't know what it is. I think I'm just going to go to wrestling school. It just hit me. That's what I'm going to do. And this guy goes, I'm in West Palm Beach. This guy goes, "Well, my parents live near a wrestling school in Connecticut." I said, "George, stop effing with me." I said, I'm serious. I said, I think I'm going to go to wrestling school. He goes, well, I'm serious too. My parents have a house right down the street. Well, he wasn't lying. I called his parents. They said there is one. I went up, stayed at their place for a month till I got my own apartment, moved up and went to wrestling school. Just out of the blue, I said I got sick of what I was doing and went to Connecticut and went to wrestling school.
Yeah, but bartenders get a lot of tail, so that's probably you probably missed that part, right? Back in the day.
Yeah. Well, the club I left was actually a strip club.
Oh, yeah. He was
So,
in the game.
yeah, I mean that's why I got my nickname Lethal Weapon, the old porn days. But no, I'm just kidding. It was a girls' strip club, but.
Oh my gosh, Steve, this might be the funniest I've ever heard of you.
So. I do have a sense of humor.
I'd imagine, the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, like the wrestling, I wish I would have made more of that. I mean, like I was out of wrestling for about 6 years because I had some health issues, bad. Then when I got healthy, I went back. But it's good living for a while, good group of guys and stuff like that. But I don't know. For me, I wish I'd have been younger when I got healthy, got my health back. Because when I look at it, like for me, like you said, I mean, it's just not me to stand there and yell at people. Like I would have I'd have preferred to just walk into the ring and start swinging, like in UFC. Then I would much rather stand in the cage and, and punch somebody in the mouth 5 times a year than go out to WWF 250 nights a year. That's just, most people have to realize though, the training is where most guys get hurt the most because you're training so hard so many days. You can go out there, of course you can get banged up in a fight, but it's the fights coming every few months or something. The training is what takes its toll on your body.
Yeah,
but
the training is what'll take you out.
Yeah, because you have to train like your fight, you have to train as hard as you can, otherwise you're not going to produce out there.
Yeah, but what I mean, if you're doing shows 259 days a week, when can you train?
A year? Well, I mean, when I first started years ago, when I wrestled in Canada, we actually wrestled every day of the year. That's not a figure of speech. We wrestled every day. I think we went it was like something stupid like 300 days, and then Owen's brothers are all ribbers up there in that territory. We had 1 day off scheduled after almost like 10 months, and he put us in a charity wheelchair event 3 hours from home.
So now
as a joke.
When I look on your Wikipedia, it says, you were in Stampede Wrestling, like you were at Stu Hart. Now, were you like training in the dungeon and with all those guys, or not really?
I didn't train up there. I mean, I've been at Stu's house and I've been down there, but I did it. I trained in Connecticut and stuff and worked in a bunch of small promotion stuff for a year before I went up there. I met Owen over in Japan, and I was still green at the TV wrestling. I said, Owen, what do I need to do here to get to WWF? He goes, you need to go wrestle for my dad where you wrestle every day of the year. So that's what I did, and we wrestled every day of the year.
Yeah, so you were a good friend of Owen's, right?
Yep. Yeah, I met him in '87.
Yeah, I was 1 year old.
Wow.
Just a little whippersnapper.
Yeah, I was 1 year old.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. I can't believe how many years ago it was.
Now, did you see the Hall of Fame? The guy tried to tackle Bret Hart, or he tackled Bret Hart.
He did. I didn't see the whole video, but I mean, did Bret even see him coming, or was he blindsided?
A little bit. Like a guy hopped in the ring, and Bret just looked at him, and it was like a guy in a Jamaican mask with a guy in a Jamaican hat with the dreadlocks. So Bret almost like froze for a second, and the guy, he like body locked him and just like wung him to the ground. And
yeah,
he
it was
actually,
weak.
You saw it then?
Yeah, it was weak.
He ripped the girl to the ground too, though, Natalia.
Yeah, she was just in the way.
Yeah. Now the girl, that's Jim Neidhart's daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
And even there, I'm surprised that guy didn't almost die. Like pro wrestlers don't fuck around, like in situations like that. Like I remember there's a video where like back in the day, like WCW, and I'm sure Steve has stories where fans jump in. A fan jumped in when like Macho Man was wrestling Kevin Nash, and Macho Man was ready to fucking kill him. Like Macho Man.
Most people don't realize, I mean, like a lot of those guys, I mean, they're big athletic guys. Half the guys play football, half of them wrestled, half of them can fight. I mean, or a third of them can fight. I mean, it's those guys don't put up with that crap. He's lucky, that there weren't a certain group of guys there and not a big group of people watching, because they would have, it's not like they would have ganged up on it, but I mean, like a lot of those guys, when you look at them, that with a lot of those guys in there have 10 and 12 year amateur wrestling careers and can just throw their hands too. I mean, he would have been schooled in there by 10 different people.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's some big fucking dudes in there. Like all those guys are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you played football in college and stuff like that, and basketball, and you're athletic and you're that big, usually you have some fighting ability, just being able to throw good punches because you're athletic. So and that guy said he did MMA. Well, that's wonderful, but everybody has, like I said, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. So
Steve used to say that to us all the time.
I used to say, if somebody's a black belt, punch them in the mouth, they're a purple. Punch them in the mouth hard enough again, now they're a white belt. And
yeah, we'll get that.
It's true advice.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But I still want to just continue on. Like, so you did like would you call it amateur wrestling before you're in the WWE?
No, it's pro wrestling, but you're just not at
The big show.
The big show, yeah.
So you were.
Yeah, I mean, it was TV wrestling, but like over in Japan, like there, we had to, like, being one of the younger guys there, like they would make us amateur wrestle 2 and 3 hours in the mornings over there, wrestle and do a cardio, and then at night we did TV wrestling. So like every day for the 6.5 weeks I was over there, the first trip, it was just 6 days a week of amateur wrestling all morning, and then at nighttime we would do TV wrestling. So I mean, like, and then over the years, just doing my school, doing jits, jujitsu and stuff, always just doing more and more wrestling and stuff. And, wrestling's, a great base, the amateur wrestling. If you got a certain amount of years under your belt with that, teaching jujitsu and boxing after that makes things a little easier, because I always tell everybody, it's a lot harder teaching somebody to double leg them, take them down, and keep them down than it is just throwing the right punch.
Right.
Right. So I mean.
Yeah, there was a moment when the wrestlers dominated, like Mark Coleman, Mark Kerr, and all them, and then the Brazilians kind of took over, and it was a little mixed up. But now the wrestlers dominate again, I think. If you look at like all the champions, they're all wrestlers. They're all from a amateur wrestling pedigree, most of them.
Now, Steve, what was your first martial art that you ever practiced?
Well, when I was in high school, I did baseball, football, and I amateur wrestled for a couple of years. And after a couple of years, then I started taking karate in between baseball and football, just because I wanted a break from going into every sport. So so then I started taking Ishinryu when I was in ninth grade in between sports.
Now, what's
when I
that?
got to college, that's just another karate style.
Okay.
It certainly wouldn't be the one that I would
recommend.
Just, choose anymore. No, I didn't like some of the punching. I mean, it all still keeps you sharp, keeps you quick. The guys that do it, can certainly hold their own because they're still practicing with their hands and feet, but it just wouldn't be my favorite.
Right.
And then when I went to college, I took boxing at college while I was there on a baseball scholarship. And then after that, I just kept doing more and more stuff. I did some Kempo when I was down in Florida. And then, then we go over more submission stuff. When I was in Japan, believe it or not, I started doing the amateur wrestling over there and stuff. I started to get into it. When I went to Canada, believe it or not, Dynamite Kid actually started showing me some of the my first submission holds back in, like end of '87, which was 30 years ago. And that's when I started getting into it. Because he had done shoot wrestling over in England before he came here to do TV wrestling. And he was Bulldog used to wrestle and stuff too, Davey Boy. So I started picking it up from those guys, and then I just started, studying whatever I could after that. And then when I got out at WWF, though, then I did a couple more years of, the jits just to brush up on my stuff, because I had been doing the TV wrestling for the last 7 years. So I started doing more and more of that before I opened up with a fight school, get my, self caught up where I thought I needed to be.
Yeah, I always knew that growing up. A lot of the guys, I heard of catch wrestling, and then I look at some of the guys who did it, and there's some legit catch wrestling moves. Like, it's almost jiu-jitsu in a sense. Like, obviously, a lot of the guys involved with catch wrestling, it really got labeled as pro wrestling, but it's kimuras and chokes and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some stuff, but even some of the stuff they were showing me wasn't even stuff like, when you do like a guillotine, you put a guillotine on, but just sprawl back and put your hand up on the back, turn into a sprawling choke. The ref drops down to see if it's a choke. You just grab the chin, grab the tricep, shuck them to the side, and take their back. Like, you can go right from some of those submissions straight to, an amateur wrestling hole and make it look pretty smooth.
Yeah. Now, what is there something specific you did that the WWE was like, "Yep, we want him. We're signing him"?
Well, I was supposed to start with them back in '89, And then I went to Africa to keep my word to a guy because I had a 3-week gig plan down there. And I talked to the WWF office, and I said, I've been dying to get here with you guys. It's been, a few years getting here, and I don't want to be anywhere else. But I gave this guy my word down there, and they've already done the advertising and the posters and everything. So the office said, they don't give a shit. They said, okay, we'll start with us in 3 weeks when you get back. They understood.
Right.
What 3 weeks to them is no big deal. So anyway, I got down there, ended up on my deathbed, and
right. You told me that.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. You contracted malaria, right?
Yeah, well, they know I had dysentery, and they figured I probably had malaria or something with it because I was just so sick, and I was sick for a couple of years. I mean,
from water or a bug? Like you got bit by something?
Well, I know the water was really doing it to me too, and they thought maybe I had a bug. They weren't sure about the malaria. They knew they diagnosed me with dysentery, and then figured with my symptoms it had to be malaria or something as well because I was so sick, so dehydrated. I felt like I had sand in my mouth and throat for every second of the day. I would literally just drink something every few minutes. I couldn't walk around the room for 5 minutes without having to chug because it would just go out as fast as it went in.
Jeez.
But,
like you had the Hershey squirts?
Just everything.
Oof.
And but that's what dysentery does to you. You dehydrate so fast from going to the bathroom so much you can't keep putting enough fluids in. So guys die from dysentery or malaria just from dehydrating so fast.
Did you fear you were going to die?
In Africa, I did. Yes, I was in the hospital over there. When I got to Africa on Thursday, I weighed 267. The Wednesday, 6 days later, I weighed 236.
Jeez.
I lost 31 pounds in 6 days.
Wow.
And it was brutal. It took me 2 days on planes and trains and everything to get home, and I thought I have to get out of here because no matter what I eat and drink, I'm getting worse and worse here. And then when I finally got back after 40 hours and blacking out in planes and everything else, some kid was carting me around there in a wheelchair. And I don't even know what money I had in my pocket. I just gave him a handful of crap, all this foreign currency. I said, there's exchange places there. I said, here, just take all this and get me some food. And so I wanted to see if I could keep something down. And he came back with a turkey or a ham sub, I don't remember which, and a big bottle of water. And I ate it and drank it, forced it down. I sat there because I was expecting, to go in there and have blitzkrieg again. And I sat there for 5 or 10 minutes and nothing happened. I'm like, holy hell, I kept it down. So I was convinced the water down there just kept making me worse than the food. So I actually ate and drank this, and it stayed down. And then I still had a flight from New York back to home. Then I went to my doctor the next day, but I just kept getting worse.
And how much do those like gigs overseas pay? Like, what does that pay?
I think, okay, now this was 1989 when I went to Africa. And I don't know the exact number and I don't know the exact amount of days, so don't hold me to it, but I'm close. They were giving me $1,700 a week for 3 weeks, and I think I had to wrestle twice a week.
Yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow.
So that was, I mean, you got to remember that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it wasn't just that. The guy that I was wrestling against, Gamma, was over like a god down there, and he was in Calgary with us, and I had given him my word I would come down and be the bad guy against him. And I saw when I said I'm keeping, even though I finally made it to Titan, I just couldn't do that to him.
Right.
So
you almost die in Africa. You come back over, the plane ride over, you get better, and now you're in the WWE. Yes. Yeah, well, F at the time.
Yes, and then I tried to do some shows, and I had to keep on telling them I still don't feel well, and I would go back home. A couple weeks later, I would try another show, but I just kept getting worse again. Like I got better for like 2 weeks, not better, but a little better, and then after a 2 week period, I just went downhill, and I started developing chronic fatigue and everything else, and I ended up to the point where I was sleeping 18 and 20 hours a day.
Wow.
If I walked across the room, I had to take a nap. It was that bad.
Jeez.
And that went on for about 2.5 years, 10 doctors. Finally, it was at 9 doctors. The 10th doctor I went to figured out, put me on some certain medicine, and it started making me better. But he said the bad news is it's going to take as long to get better as you've been sick. I'm like, I've been sick for 2.5 years. You're telling me I got 2.5 more years on medicine? You're ready to hang up at that point. And
yeah, that's a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. It was a complete nightmare. And then you know,
But
it
even
took a long
there,
road.
you probably had your moments like you were like, "Fuck this," but then you stuck with it, and you actually made it to the WWE, like the big time,
Yep.
the big
Well,
show in that sense.
yep. Well, I can tell you, I was fortunate and lucky that they took me back. But like one day after about 5 years, I woke up one morning and when I opened my eyes, I could actually see clearly, like because my vision was screwed up from being sick like that so long and having an infection in my stomach. And like one day I woke up and I could actually see clearly. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I sat up and looked around. I'm like, I can see clearly and I can think clearly today. I couldn't believe it. And now 5 years has gone by. So instead of sleeping 18, 20 hours a day, I was down to sleeping like 9 or 10 hours. So like all that medicine the last couple of years I was slowly coming around. When I
Wow.
woke up, it felt good that day. Then I started going back to the gym. When bought my own wrestling, when I bought a wrestling ring, started practicing, and then I went and saw one of the WWF shows and talked to the office people, and they were reluctant at first because I hadn't been in the ring in years. And then, they gave me a match. I did it, and they said, with one stipulation, we want you to go down to the developmental league and just practice for a couple of weeks before we put you back on the road. I said, well, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I get it. So I did that, and I got fortunate. They put me back on the road.
Hang on, I need to back up a little bit. You had a wrestling ring at your house?
I put it in one of the gyms that my friends owned.
Dude, if I had a wrestling ring growing up, holy shit! You know what my wrestling ring was a goddamn trampoline.
You know what it is? It's weird with wrestling. It used to be a size business. Like they wanted big, 6'3", 6'4", even bigger and jacked. Like now they get into smaller guys. But I think you could do some backflips off the top rope and shit, Dennis.
Steve, you think I could be in the WWE? I always think I'm too small.
Nah, they have a
I
cruiserweight
thought
division
you-
now.
Well, you have to look at. I'm not being funny. You got to look at it like this. Like some of the guys in there that are shorter or smaller fly everywhere. You have great cardio. You have good speed. What do you walk around that now that you're not fighting? 165, 170,
175.
175. Okay.
Of muscle, Steve.
so-
Don't get it twisted.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you figure 175, but you have 12 or 14 years of amateur wrestling under your belt.
Right.
That's a major difference. I mean, like, because even if guys are 250 and have absolutely no jits and no wrestling background, you're going to school them.
Yeah.
Hang on, Steve, can we back, like, it's predetermined who's going to win, no?
You still have, it's still aggressive out there, and it's still,
Very
exhibiting
physical.
your athletic ability and
Yes.
stuff. So, even like if you can incorporate and show people your authentic wrestling, you're shooting in double leg slam when your next move and stuff, you can still do a lot of good wrestling and stuff. I mean, to get yourself over if you were in there because you have a legit background. People know you wrestled all those years and you have a jiu-jitsu background, a fighting background. It's going to be believable that you can beat, some guys a lot bigger. See what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and some of the other guys, that are small, they'll fly all over the place.
Right.
They'll do flips off the top. They dive everywhere. I mean, they move. That's how it's believable.
Now, Steve, do you still watch wrestling at all?
I don't. I mean, I stopped years back, mainly when I had my kids and stuff like that. I mean, my kids have sports in the evening. I help coach his wrestling, his baseball. My daughter has gymnastics. I mean, it's rough at night. I mean, I'm doing stuff with them now. I mean, if I'm flipping around watching something that wrestling's on, and my son goes, "Hey, can we watch this for a little while?" I mean, I'll put it on for him. Watch a little bit, then we'll flip through a football game, back to the wrestling, stuff like that. I mean, we flip back and forth. I don't really watch the whole program anymore.
Now going off of that, like, do they know who the lethal weapon is? Like, are you cool to them? Because the thing is, like, I know my kids, like, they got an idea I used to fight, but I don't think they grasp it fully. But I imagine one day they're going to be, I don't know, in
They're gonna
elementary
be
school,
like,
and they're
"Whoa."
like, "Dad, like, what? You were a killer." I'm like, "All right, easy, son, easy."
Yeah, I mean, it's funny with today's technology. I mean, all they have to do is get on YouTube. And,
Right.
you always sit at home and go, "Who the hell puts all that on there?" because you can get on there and watch 200 matches from any of us. But yeah, sometimes Xander and my daughter will watch a couple of the matches and stuff, and some of their friends' parents, they're younger than me. I mean, they used to watch wrestling when they were younger, so they know me and stuff. But sometimes I wish I was younger when I had them, so I could taking them to the wrestling stuff. But they watch it on YouTube and stuff. So
Oh, best believe. If you say Steve Blackman to me, immediately I'm like, Steve Blackman.
Hardcore
the
champion.
lethal weapon. He'll fuck you up with a kendo stick real quick. He's coming at you.
How many different titles did you have? You had the hardcore championship, right? Were you a tag team champion as well?
I did tag teams with Al and a bunch of the other guys. I had that hardcore thing for like a year.
You were the hardcore champ for
Do you know
a
what
minute.
it is? It was UFC coming up that time, and WWE, they wanted to like catch that angle. Like that's what I was gonna say. Why I even asked Steve if he still watches. Two of the biggest stars are Brock and Ronda Rousey, and it's because they have that. They'll come in the ring and they'll clear the ring out. The old school Ken Shamrock thing. They're playing the same thing that they played with Blackman and Ken Shamrock.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now Steve's told me before, because they tried doing some like real combat live, right, Steve? Like a boxing match or something like that.
We did
Brawl
do
for
that.
the brawl for all.
They called it
Yeah,
the
and
brawl
Steve
for all.
crushed.
Well, they called me at home and said, we're doing this brawl for all. And I thought they were ribbing me because, all the guys in there pulled jokes. I said, what's a brawl for all? They said, well, we're gonna do a real fight. You can punch, you can kick, and you can wrestle. I said,
It was
you're
like
telling me
Sanchow
that
almost.
you're telling me that I can stand in that ring and I can leg kick those guys as much as I want, or I can shoot and I can punch. And then Bruce goes, yes. He called me from the office. I said, I don't believe you. I said, there's no way you're gonna let me do that. Because me and Shamrock would have been the only people that would really wanted to leg kick and knee and all that. I said, I don't believe you. I think this is a joke. They said, well, would you do it? I said, if I can do that, I'll do it. Now, I hated wearing those big boxing gloves. I hate that because I like being able to grab.
Right.
But
Well, now they wanted
anyway,
takedowns, but no ground fighting, right? Like it was a
Yeah, well, we
takedown,
get there-
and then they stand you up.
Well, we get there and we get in the ring and everybody's going over the rules. And Bradshaw and some of the other guys are going, what about this kicking? They said, well, Steve, what kind of kicks do you mean you want to do? So one of the guys said, stupid me at the time. I mean, I'm usually quicker, than this. I should have thrown a slow, sloppy kick. Instead, I was already warmed up because I was doing cardio or something in the back. I came out and did a light, real fast, leg kick. And they're like, no way are you leg kicking those guys? I'm like, oh.
You ruined your go-to.
I ruined it. Yes, I should have realized it and should have slow one for the first time. Anyway, I okey-doked myself on that one. But anyway, so I had already told them I'd do it. So the first night they put me against Mark Miro. Well, Mark won New York Golden Gloves boxing 5 years in a row or something like that.
He was your biggest competition, right?
Yeah, so they put us out there as the very first fight. Well, they took out these 16-ounce boxing gloves fresh out of the box when we got there. It was like putting on a 2x4. You could barely even squeeze your hand or move anything. It was ridiculous. When we got out there, I thought, well, okay, I'm going to shoot. When you watched it, I shot in, took him down. I faked the jab, took him down, faked the jab, took him down. The fourth time, I faked the jab, level changed, and threw a right bomb. He was quick enough where he ducked his chin. I caught him on the cheekbone and not the chin, or I would have dropped him because I threw a bomb from the floor on that one. But I took him down like 11 times in those 3 minutes. But if I wouldn't have had those damn gloves on, I could have taken him down and submitted him. But those gloves were brutal to wear. But they got to try to protect. But then Bart Gunn ended up winning it. I tore my knee. Because once I realized it was real, I came home and called one of my friends who was a 300-pound amateur wrestler. We started practicing. I tore my knee and had to get it operated on, so I couldn't finish the damn tournament. So it was frustrating for that.
They pulled you out and put Mark Mero back in, right?
Yeah, well, it's because I had my knee operated on the next week.
And like when you read about that, I know Jim Cornette has said like Steve Williams was kind of a Japan badass and a big dude. Like they favored him to win, and then Bart Gunn knocked him out, right?
And then Bart knocked him out. Yep. I mean, and here's the thing. Bart told them he was going to knock him out before he went out there. He said, are you sure you want to do this? I'm going to knock him out. And because you have to understand, Steve wrestled all through high school and college, but most people don't know this. So did Bart.
Yeah. Oh, Bart was like a tough Texan.
Bart was a wrestler too, and Bart's about 6'4", 280 pounds, and he wrestled his whole life and can punch. So it's like, they were trying to push Steve at Williams at the time, which Steve was a good football player and good wrestler. But it was just, they're just trying to do something different, I guess. And, kind of backfired on some things, but, whatever. Once the tournament's over, everybody moves on.
I mean, now we'll see how far we can go with this one, but I remember one night talking on the phone with you and Dennis and listening to you guys talk, like that fight with Mark Merrow, when you won that, it almost led you in the Brawl for All for fighting Bradshaw, who's known as being like a WWF tough guy, right? Now,
Well,
you and him had a little cross paths before, right?
I told Stan about the airplane story. Can you? I mean, I probably botched it awfully. Can you give the real story?
Oh, well, even Bradshaw's
Yes,
a tough guy.
I was on the
Yeah, he
plane,
lost to Bart
and-
Gunn in the end. He got knocked
Yeah,
out by
I was
Bart
on
Gunn.
the plane, and we're flying. We got to remember, we don't get much sleep, so I count my plane ride as part of my night's sleep. And him and one of the other guys, I'm not going to say the other guy's name. There's no reason to put him out there, but him and one of the other guys.
Farouk.
No, he's great. He's a good guy.
Right.
But Bradshaw and this other guy kept throwing paper balls off the back of my head. I said something to them twice. They kept doing it. I walked back the aisle a third time. I said, look, guys, I said, I want to get some sleep. Stop throwing those things off my head, okay? So I go back up and sit down, and I'm thinking, I can't swing on the plane. There'll be 20 air marshals waiting for me when we land. So I'm sitting up in my seat, and I am like, I have my eyes closed, my sunglasses on, and I am absolutely just fuming. I want to go back there and just start swinging so bad I can taste it. And they just kept doing it every few minutes. It was a 2-hour, 3-hour flight, you know. We get to the airport. I walked up. I took my sunglasses off, handed them to Al. Bradshaw came walking over like a smart-ass standing beside me, and I backhanded him right off his feet. He flew. I came up. I jabbed him, 1-2, uppercut, and then bombed him. But I didn't hit him as hard as I could, truthfully speaking, because I didn't want him to split his head open on the floor in there, because I had him going backward. He was dropping fast. And so he hit the floor, and my foot went through a big duffel bag handle. I don't know how, but it did. I had a 50-pound bag hanging on my leg. I bend over. I'm trying to take this handle off. Meanwhile, he's regaining his composure, coming back to his feet. And I can't believe this. I can't get this bag off my leg. It's like my foot had to go through like a puzzle, right through it, and then it has to come out a certain way. He's back to his feet by now because I spent time trying to get this off.
And he's pissed.
He comes over swinging. I got this bag on my leg. He threw one bomb. I slipped it. Another. I slipped it. I stood there slipping 3 or 4 punches, until the guys came over, pull us apart. And that's kind of what happened there. You know, we both got fined. We both laughed about it down the road. Well, it's over.
So a real life pull apart, as they say in the business. You guys weren't going for fake heat. There was real heat, but the guys had to pull you guys apart.
Yeah, I remember Austin standing there laughing his ass off about it. But
Stone Cold.
Oh, that's Menace's guy. Menace was.
Actually, you know what? The thing is actually, to be honest with you, I was a huge Rock fan during that era. But the thing is everybody loved Stone Cold and everybody loved
Rock too.
The Rock. No.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
let me explain that to you. This is how this business works. Okay, Austin developed that knack on the microphone overnight. He became a master with the catchphrases. People like the catchphrases, and if you can sit at home for 10 years and not think of a catchphrase, that's going to make the people pop.
Oh.
It's funny because Austin had open a can of whoop ass. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. People chime in. He had good sayings for his shirts and good catchphrases. Then Rock came up with "Smell what the Rock's cooking,"
right.
so that people chime in with that stuff. That's the issue with today. Like, there's no one in there that has that catchphrase at the end that's going to grab the people and make them can't wait to hear it, can't wait to hear you get your promo so we can chime in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have that same appeal right now. Doesn't get me wrong. There's lots of guys in there with the same athletic ability. It's
Right.
just that, but when you look back on the guys that were on the mic and we were in there, and you look at Austin, Rock, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, even Taker, you can go down the line. There were a lot of guys that were good on the mic and good in the ring.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference.
Because I remember you telling me like that's what made a guy is that it's you could be
You got to be able to cut a promo.
Yeah, well, you could be shit as an athlete, but if you can get on the mic and get people hyped, man, that was worth that. It's almost like fighting. You know how they say it's like 90% mental and 10% physical.
Yeah.
That's what it is with WWE. It's like
it
it's
turned
like
into
90% like how can you sell
promo, yeah,
and then 10% how can you sell? You know, what I mean, actually do it.
Hulk Hogan is notorious. He had like 5 moves. He's the
Right.
biggest name in wrestling. He has like 5 moves: clothesline, punch, kick, and leg drop. And they're like the
Oh, yeah,
simplest
Hulk's
fucking, you know.
Yep. Oh, you're 100% right. He's a great guy. I always liked him, but his wrestling abilities are 1, and his mic skills are an 11.
Yeah. Even I've heard Steve Austin, like, admittedly said, like, I had 5 moves. You know, I didn't have a lot of moves. I had a handful of moves, and my main move was like kick to stomp. You know,
Yeah.
his main move.
Yeah, but even so, like, even though like Austin still had good psychology in the ring, so did Hogan. I mean, they know how to work a match, get the people going. I mean, like, that's what made them big money and big names. I mean, like, they know how to work it out there.
Oh yeah, like they can engage with the fans. Like one of our guys who dropped, you just pointed out Ronda, said like Ronda has 3 moves.
Right. Who do we have on not too long ago who's in the had his Bellator fight?
What's that?
Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger. Are you familiar with him, Steve?
I am. I don't know him well.
You know,
but I do know.
Right.
I do know that he amateur wrestled his whole life. He amateur wrestled all his life and in college and played football.
Yeah, he was an animal. Yeah, we had him on after his Bellator win, and we asked him about flowing with guys and getting in there with guys. Because before you guys go in there and actually put on a TV show, right? You guys do like a practice run, no?
It's very rare that it's rare that the guys actually do practice runs with it. Sometimes, guys will talk, some things, half out there you kind of ad lib, and the other half you discuss
in the back.
Like that. And yeah, sometimes if you're going to do something crazy, you talk about it. But, like once you get to that point, you can go out there and just start going with a guy once you're polished and just go and, do the match out there. You can call it and do it while you're out there and stuff. But it's a physical thing. It's demanding. It's hard on the body. I don't know which was worse, the football or the wrestling. They're both just killer on your body.
Yeah.
But how did Swagger look in the fight?
He looked good, man. He looked really
good.
Did
his hands look good, or his wrestling, or both?
He went for the wrestling. He looked like a big 6'7" All-American wrestler. He just poured out there, shot a takedown, got on top of the guy, and the guy stood no chance.
Yeah, he was just much bigger than the guy I felt. Even though they're the same weight class, his frame and everything, he just looks like a bigger guy.
He's a big, lean, long, jacked heavyweight.
Isn't Jack isn't he like 36 now or something?
Yeah, he's up there. But in MMA, the heavyweight age is usually 36 to 40 is usually when they're doing stuff.
I wonder why he didn't go to UFC.
Because UFC probably offered him less money to go on the Contender Series or something like that, or who knows. But I would actually maybe who knows, because he has a bigger following, I think, than CM Punk.
Well, was that his pro debut?
Or close to CM Punk. CM Punk was pretty big too. That was his pro debut, yeah.
Yeah, that's CM Punk I think has a bigger following than Jack Swagger.
Close. No,
close.
Really close, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
I'll tell you what.
I tell you what.
You talk about CM Punk.
Oof.
When I don't know him personally. The TV wrestling he was decent at and stuff, but there was nothing worse when he was in the UFC.
Yeah,
and the guy shot on him, and the first thing he did was put his hand down behind him when he was falling. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That is the worst first day of practice thing anybody does. Dennis, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God. I said, he's putting his hand down. He's done. Put a fork in him.
Now, so also, you talked about how wrestling's hard on the body, right? And because you guys are at it in and day out, right? Some of those guys are taking some PEDs, but I think that part of WWE is definitely declining, right? Like guys are taking less PEDs to be able to keep up, right?
Well, I'm not real familiar with the guys in there right now. But
But back in the day.
Yeah, a lot of guys do it. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. When I wrestled in WWF, I used to tell them all the time, if you need a guinea pig, come test me, because I never took anything.
Right.
Some guys do it when they're injured to keep on going.
Right.
They got bills to pay, families to feed, and other guys do it just because they get bigger. You know how it goes.
Right, because back then and even before then, like those guys were fucking hard body, jacked shit. They look like bodybuilders. The wrestlers today, a little more soft.
They're high flyers now.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just saying
well-
their bodies are just softer.
I've said to some of the guys, like when you weigh 310 on the gas and 285 off, nobody cares but you. Why are you ruining your health? It's like, because some of the guys, a lot of the guys in there are big to begin with.
Right.
So I mean, what's the point? Just keep your cardio up and keep moving.
Yeah. Because, and then also, because I talk to people, right? Like, well, it's fake. I'm like, you fucking fall off a 10, 15-foot pole onto your back. Go ahead. And then add 100 pounds onto what your little weak ass weighs.
Oh, it's a crazy cardio workout, too. Like, it's not like you're fucking in there,
Stan, back the fuck up. These guys weigh 250, and they're falling 10 to 15 feet. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, it hurts.
It's not, they don't have a ton of padding.
Oh, very little pain. It's a mat. It's like a
people have
boxing
no
mat.
idea the pain that that the people in that business go through. All of us, all the guys did. Some of the guys, when you fall those distances, you're laying on the concrete floor, you're going through tables on the floor. The metal chairs were one of the worst part of wrestling ever.
That's what I was
So
just
you go to
gonna ask.
Walmart, you go to Walmart, buy a brand new metal chair, come walking out and bring it. That's what we used to get hit with.
Like those hardcore matches, you ever get any bad injuries from those? Because I know some of the guys, they have horror stories of what happened to them in those hardcore matches.
Yeah, I mean, even though I was going over in those and still winning, I mean, you're still getting hit with the same gimmicks, whether you win or lose. You're still getting, pounded on back and forth. So it's, but yeah, I mean, I get hit with a lot of that stuff, and it does draw your head after a while. It's like, I actually felt like after a couple of months, I felt like my head felt soft in one spot from getting hit with so many garbage cans.
Hang on, but those garbage cans were aluminum. They're a little thinner, right?
They're
you buy
a
from Ace
little,
Hardware.
but when they drive them down on you, believe it or not,
Right.
it actually jams your neck more than it hurts your head.
Well, because even though they're aluminum, the harder you sling, you want a huge dent, right? So I'm gonna hit you super hard with it, so it looks like I you know what I mean? Because I used to watch WWE, and I would go out with my buddies, and we walk around town. And I would grab some stranger's tin can, fucking, and I would slam it over my buddy's head. But it didn't it didn't leave the same dent that you guys were,
Mm-hmm.
You used to lay your buddies out with hardcore garbage.
Yes.
Well,
We
the
were
chairs
fucked
were the
up.
worst.
We were fucked up.
Yeah, there's nothing getting worse than taking the chair shots on the
To
head.
the head?
Well, they stopped
That's
that.
right.
They stopped that now because
Well-
of the concussion shit.
They have stopped it because we've all had so many concussions. And
Going
I try
back.
to read nightly just so I can maintain my thought process, because sometimes you feel like you have a rough time grasping thoughts if you don't read for a while from getting hit so many times. But when
that's
you used to take a chair, when you get the chair straight down on top of your head, it jams your neck. Then we would try to take them on the back, and it feels like you just got bull whipped or hit with the worst sunburn you ever had. So then we decided to try to take it to the front of the head, so you can at least kind of snap your head backward when the chair's hitting you in your forehead, and you can kind of go with it a little bit, it doesn't kill you, but it still rattles your brain.
Right, because now that I'm playing it back in my head, the matches I've seen, it's kind of like usually when a guy hits you with something, you're dazed and your hands are down by your side. It's not like you put your arms up and really see it coming. You have to take the shot, right?
Right. Yep.
Jeez.
If the guys put their hand up, all it is to block their nose.
But
So they don't
now
get the chair in their nose and their teeth. But now I think they put a stop to that, because
They'll
people
find
have
you now.
no idea. Yeah,
they'll
most
find
people would.
they'll find you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you this: 99% of the public would take one of those and they'd never go in that ring again.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh my god! And then I always think of a guy like, remember Cactus Jack or Mankind, Mick
Yes.
Foley?
When he took all those.
Oh my god!
He's from Long Island. You know
He's
that,
from
right?
Long Island. We gotta try to get him on the show one day. He might come on. We got
Yeah,
Steve Blackman.
Steve, I need you to hit him up for us.
Bro, but he used to fly off the top of the cages. I'm sure, Steve, you've probably hit him in the head with something.
Well, the worst he ever did. One night he was wrestling Rock, and I think he was handcuffed, and he took 6 or 7 chair shots to the head. His wife was in the crowd, bawling her head off and screaming. Cactus just kept getting back up off the floor. Rock would hit him again. He'd drop, get back up, he'd hit him again. It was brutal. I'll never forget Foley's. I think it was his wife just having a fit, freaking, and he just kept taking headshot after headshot. And it was the same night. It was awful.
And that bonded
But,
them closer somehow. That made Rock and Mick Foley closer somehow.
Well, no, I mean, because the thing is no fan. You know how the UFC, when someone's fighting, they're panning on their significant other, their family, to see how they're reacting to the fight. The WWE does not do that.
Well, They only do that to-
Only someone like Steve Blackman's going to give us that insight. Like, man, his wife is flipping out. She knows, because to everybody else, oh, it's fake.
Yeah.
She was rarely even at shows. I'm pretty sure it was her with her kids sitting there ringside, and he just happened to be taking headshot after headshot after headshot with the chairs, and it was just insane. He just kept getting back up, and Rock would lace him again. He'd get up and every one of them was across his head.
Bro, like the time that Undertaker threw him off the cage, he threw him 30 feet, 20 feet. That was a fucking drop. You know, even if it was onto a pad, there was wood and then a pad. Like it wasn't.
Well, I got news for you. He landed on a pad on a concrete floor. I remember that night. I remember because he couldn't walk right for 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, like I remember like they sold it. If it wasn't real or kayfabe, whatever, they were like, "Yo, he's really fucked up. We got to stop this match." And he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And he had his tooth in his nose.
Yeah,
that's my.
No, he was spitting out. He spit out teeth.
His tooth came through his nose, and his tooth was hanging in his nose like a booger.
People think there's snot in his nose. No, his one tooth came up and out of his nose, and the other tooth went through his lip or gum or whatever it was. And,
that's like a car accident. He got thrown from the top of the fucking cage.
I know that was like one of my damn, I love this shit. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we did. Well, I mean, but back then, I mean, the regulations, we weren't as strict as we could, do all that, stuff, but. Still, it was killer on the body and, rough. But it takes a rare breed to do that all that stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories ever was when you told me that you wish you took out a life insurance policy on the British Bulldog.
That's because you have to understand, Dave. And people are going to think, "What kind of nonsense is that?" Dave's as direct as I am, and I said to him one day,
that was his first name.
Davey Boy Smith. That was his real name.
Dave Smith was British Bulldog. I said, Dave, because we were right. I said, all those pills you take, because when I tell people how many pills some of these guys used to take, they look at me like they don't believe me because it is an insane number. So but anyway, I said
he was taking like muscle relaxers and painkillers, right? Because
but dozens a day.
Right.
Can you imagine taking a dozen Percocets in one day?
Right. Because we talk about how much damage your bodies take every day. Like to be able to keep going, he essentially just numbs himself.
I heard or I've read he was a hard partier, Davey Boy Smith.
Oh,
he was. But I said to him, you're going to fall over dead one of these days, just like those other guys. He goes, well, I don't really give a fuck. I said, well, you know what? I said, maybe your kids do. And he didn't say anything. I was going to say, I'm going to take out a life insurance policy, and you need to sign off on it, and I'll give half to your kids. And I should have, because about a year or two later, he was gone.
Because he was so great in the ring and his stitch, and everything he said. But like on the road, a lot of the guys weren't huge fans of him. You were the only people that could put up with him.
Well, that's because like when I was in Canada in '88, me and Dave became good friends up there. I like Dave a lot. He's a funny guy. He's a ribber. I always liked hanging around with him stuff. But by the time he got to WWF, his immunity to painkillers was 10 times, and the amount of pills he took was all day and night. It was hard to tolerate, being around. None of the guys wanted to babysit. He rode with me for a while, but I even got to my wit's end with it because I don't even drink. I don't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, this was driving me nuts.
There's an ugly side to the wreshling business where that life on the road and the partying and you get caught up in it. You're an alcoholic, you're a pill pop, and you like real quick, like, oh, I fucking do everything,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he's a good guy no matter what, no matter how it ended, no matter what our discussions were. I always liked him. his kids are great. His son was trying to, did some time in the wrestling. His son's a big guy, about 6'4", 275, and he looks and is built just like Dave was, but 4 inches taller.
Yeah, because the thing is what people don't understand, like when, the UFC, they pay for me and one out of the corner to fly wherever I'm fighting. I got to pay for the other 2 corners. For you guys had to pay for
everything.
No, I
they
think
gave us our airline tickets.
They would put you in the bumfuck, no?
Well, wherever we landed, we had to pay for our rental cars and our hotels. They would give us airline tickets. Unless it was a big pay-per-view event, they would cover the guys' hotels and stuff at some of those events. And overseas, they would cover it. But in the States, you pay your hotel, your rental cars, they give you your airline tickets, and you're expected to be there.
But, I mean, because I remember you were telling me there was one time they gave you an airplane ticket, and they flew you in the middle of 2 shows that you had to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, some road trips I'll never forget. With me and Bob Holly were on a road trip one time. It was the most grueling trip you could possibly do. Like leaving, like I'm in Florida, fly from there to San Francisco, wrestle. The next day, go down to LA, wrestle. Next day, fly to Alabama, drive 2 hours, wrestle. Drive back 2 hours, 11 o'clock at night to the hotel. Go to bed, get up in the morning, fly to New York. It was so bad that I said, whoever scheduled this trip is stoned throwing darts at a board and just buying tickets for these. It was that bad. And I remember Bob and me looking at each other like we literally were up so many hours a day. We would eat like 6 and 7 meals a day just to keep going because we were getting like 3 and 4 hours of sleep a night. That was the worst 10-day trip I ever saw. It was the worst scheduling, but you make do and you keep pushing through it.
Oh, and Bob Holly, he's another one of those guys. Like in the aftermath of his wrestling career, people reveal like, no, he was a badass. Like, oh no, I didn't fuck with Bob Holly. Bob Holly would have fucked me up, right?
Oh, he was a badass, Steve, huh?
Well, I can tell you this: Bob's one of those guys. He has cardio that doesn't wear out. He's athletic, so if you put him on the spot, he's going to go. If you get the best of him, that's fine. But he's one of those guys that, okay, well, if I lose Monday, we'll fight again Tuesday. It's just.
He was the guy that had a little midget too. He had like a mini me
at one point, yeah.
for a little bit.
I don't know. I don't remember Bob having a midget. That was Doink.
Buddy Holly. No, remember he had the other guy, the little blonde dude. He had the little blonde dude at one point.
Yeah, he had like a little mini him, right?
He was Bob Holly. There was Molly Holly, and what was the other guy? Crash Holly. He had Crash Holly. He wasn't a midget, but he was a cruiserweight at a point when he was a cruiserweight at a point when all the other wrestlers were huge.
Right.
So yeah, not a midget, but yeah, a dwarf. But you know what I mean. That's what they call him. What is the correct term?
What was that?
Small person. No, we're talking about
who knows?
Bob Holly. I mistaked Crash.
Well, even him, I think Crash Holly, rest in peace as well, right?
Crash, I lost you there for a second. Crash wrestled.
I think Crash Holly passed away as well, right?
Oh, he did years ago. He had OD'd, I imagine, on painkillers as well. It's truly disturbing how many guys have passed on painkillers. Now, I say painkillers, that's the majority of it, in my opinion. I'm sure it's painkillers, alcohol, the gas, all things mixed together. But usually when you're taking that many Percocets and Valiums and Somas in a day, your liver and heart are only going to take so much of it.
Yeah, it winds up being like a cocktail almost, like a combination of drugs that winds up taking people out. It's unfortunate. But yeah, Bob Holly, as I've always heard, is one of those guys. So now, Ken Shamrock and you, did you guys ever train together? Whatever happened in that room?
Sometimes we went out in the ring and wrestled around and rolled around sometimes and stuff like that. But, when we're on the road, by the time you land, you eat, you go to find a gym, you get to the arena, you eat, you try to rest. There were some days where we'd have some extra time. We went in the ring and roll around a little bit, here and there. But we didn't do a whole lot of that. We rode together for a couple of years. I always liked Ken. I always liked Ken his younger days when he fought, because when we were done with the WWF wrestling, I don't know if it was the toll on his body and the party and everything together. He just didn't even appear to be even remotely the same fighter after we were done as he was before. So when he was younger, I always felt, you're a wrestler, stick with it, take him down, mount him and pound him and, put an end to it. And then as he got, older and out of the wrestling, he started to try to do more boxing and stuff. And I'm a believer, if it's working, don't fix it. And I think he just sort of stuck to more of the wrestling and to get the guys down and then work for submissions and pound them from there instead of making them stand-up fights. But anyway, Ken's a great guy. Bob Holly's a good guy. They're direct guys, no BS. I always like traveling with them. I got along with them well. So, I have nothing bad to say about those guys.
So another thing I love that you've told me in the past is, like, I think you guys were in Japan and there was a pizzeria. What kind of pizza? You guys just...
Oh, that's a classic. Okay, well, first of all, this was 30 years ago in Japan, and you can spend $300 or $400 a week eating there, and you're literally starving to death because everything costs a fortune.
Right. You guys were on a budget.
Well, yeah, back then, this was 1987 when we were over there. A budget, yeah, holy crap. We were getting paid back then. So, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'll never forget. I went to a restaurant. I got 3 little bowls of rice, and I say bowl, like a butter dish. They give me 3 little butter. That's why they're all so little. They don't give me any food. But anyway, they give me 3 little butter dishes of rice and 3 chicken legs, and it would be like $27. And I'm talking little, like a spoonful of rice in each thing and 3 chicken legs. I'll never forget it. I'm like, are you kidding me? The next meal, I got a cheeseburger, and it was like $13 for a cheeseburger. And this was 32 years ago.
Right. Yeah, it's big.
We're starving everywhere we go, most of the guys. Yeah. One day we're in Tokyo, somewhere around there, and we see this pizza buffet. We're like,
CC's,
are you kidding
right?
me?
Was it CC's?
Yep. It was a something all-you-could-eat pizza buffet, and it says $5. We're like, where the hell has this place been? $5 all you can eat. We go in there. Well, here's the catch. You'll love it. There's always a catch. It was only from noon to 2. The line was around the block, and you could only take 1 slice when you got to the counter. So 8 of us were there. It was like a bunch of big guys.
Bam Bam, right?
Yep. Well, Steve Williams was one. Vader was one. Me, Owen, and some other guys.
Crowd of big
walked
guys.
straight to the front of the line. We've been here for a month now, and everybody's famished. We've been starving to death in this place for a month. At least I was. Anyway, 8 of us go to the front of the line. We walked
Just
up.
cut
paid our
everybody.
$5. We cut everybody. We couldn't take it anymore. So we walked up, and every one of us took an entire large pizza off the table. We went to they were sitting like picnic tables. We sat 8 pitchers. We ordered 8 pitchers of water, put 8 large pizzas there. One pizza might have had shrimp on, one had corn on, one had burger on. They were all kinds of different. We grabbed anything that was in front of us. We sat there. And when you turned around and looked, it looked like you saw 200 Japanese people just look with their mouths hanging open, their plates to their side, because we just took 8 large pizzas right off the counter. And we ate every bit of it and left.
Because what are they going to do?
Bro, imagine that, though. I'd be like, holy shit, Bam Bam Bigelow just took my pizza. Like, I'm fucked right now. Like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Well, I went into one restaurant, and there was a picture of this big, juicy steak up on the top with these vegetables, and I'm like, I pointed to that, because I studied an English, Japanese language book, but I didn't know how to say steak. I could say chicken, like one chicken, like I go ichitori, I remember, but I couldn't say steak. So I pointed to that. They bring me a steak. Well, it looked like a sparrow they put on my plate. And I said, what is that? I said, look at that picture. And I'll never forget, the lady goes, sometimes not same. I said, sometimes not same? This steak's an inch wide. That one's a foot wide.
Yeah, man, that happens sometimes. We went out recently. I'm not going to name where we went, but we went out, and they gave us, like, white pieces of chicken. Remember that? Where were we? When they gave us the white chicken. And Dennis was like, those don't look like chicken wings. They're fucking white. Like, they gave us fried chicken wings, and they were like...
we got some chicken wings.
I eat lots of Chinese food, too, but I often wonder, I eat chicken every morning, rotisserie chicken, and I've yet to eat chicken in my fried rice that looks a lot like chicken.
Like, once you're used to how something looks, when you get something that looks totally different, you're like, yo, that don't look right. That's fucked up right now. I'm not eating that. Yeah.
We got, like, undercooked chicken wings,
Guys,
I think.
I've got to head back downstairs here. I got to see my kids a little bit. They go to bed at 9 o'clock. What else? You guys want to discuss anything else before I get off the phone?
Well,
here?
no, we'll let you go, because, we have a whole other thing we could talk about with you, for sure.
All right.
MMA training and shit like that,
Yeah, well, let's go to that. Give me set something up again in the next couple of weeks. I'll do it again with you. But I'd rather do another one than stay on for another half an hour. I got to go downstairs to see these guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, we got you, Steve. We're going to make you a regular on the show. We want to hear some wrestling stories, some old school Menace stories, the whole nine, what's going on with you, everything, so.
All right, that works.
All right, Steve.
All right.
You're
talk
the
to
man.
you guys soon.
All right, peace.
All right, bye.
We had Steve on for a full hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were keeping him, but
yeah,
like I can go, like I can see Joe. I'm a wrestling fan. I know Joe's a wrestling fan. Menace, you're an old school. I can go into wrestling stories all day.
Yeah.
You see, I got like,
and I have things that he's told me. That's why I just kept feeding him.
Yeah,
And
even me, you see me, I have weird wrestling knowledge. Like I know about behind the scenes shit. So I was a wrestling fan when I was a little kid. Then as an adult, I realized all I care about is behind the scenes shit. Like Macho Man was doing coke. Macho Man really beat up Hulk Hogan. Like I like that type of shit.
Yeah.
Like, who was the badass guy in the locker room? Might have been Steve Blackman, It was
no, what? I don't think Steve is a liar.
We going Johnny Bedford?
Yeah.
Hello.
Johnny Bedford.
What's up, man?
Welcome to Menace and the Man. Stan the Man here. Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Johnny Bedford, did you watch WWE or F at the time?
I did not, actually. I think that a very little bit for maybe a year or two, the young wrestling kids that I grew up real wrestling with. I guess it was our excuse just to get together one more day a week and do something silly, and then like the parents bought into it. It was like a year or two. I remember watching like Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, when Stone Cold and The Rock threw down, right?
I mean, that's my generation for sure, but I wasn't a super fan, I guess. I shouldn't say that. Never was I really into it.
Okay.
That small period of time I was even before those guys.
Okay.
But obviously, everyone knows who Stone Cold, my age, knows who Stone Cold and The Rock and all those guys are, yes.
Do you know who Steve Blackman is, the Lethal Weapon?
I know Steve Blackman because of you and Dustin Peg on the
That's
Ultimate
right.
Fighter, and then becoming friends with you after that, knowing that name and hearing y'all talk about him.
Oh,
That's
what?
right.
Dustin Peg was from Steve Blackman as well?
Yeah.
He was on that same season, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Oh, I didn't know that you
Yeah.
and Dustin Peg. I
Yeah.
didn't put that together. Yeah,
So I was on the, we couldn't have had a better. So I was on the Ultimate Fighter with Johnny Bedford.
you and Peg were training partners when you were on the
Well,
old school training partners.
only a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So me and Dustin had. So when Dustin had kind of left Steve Blackman, I came in, and then he'd come around every once in a while and train.
Yeah.
So when Johnny Bedford, do you remember us waiting outside of like a gated garage into the arena, and all of us were standing there? I remember looking over and seeing Dustin Peg and not knowing he was on the on the show. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, Dustin, what's up, dude? One of those, like at the gate, they were showed us the arena. We went in the locker room, we warmed up, then we fought. I saw Dustin then. They're about to open. Like, I'm game faced. I'm like, I fucking know him. Like, we've trained together a couple times, Like,
yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I know a few people were, but I didn't have a personal relationship with anybody, so that would have been different, I guess.
Yeah, I knew.
Like, oh shit, you're here too? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew nobody, and then there was Dustin.
Who you
Right
casually knew.
Yeah. I didn't know him that well, right? We all fight. Me, you, Dustin win. Then
To get into the house.
To get into the house. Then teams got picked, right?
Yep.
And then we went. Then they drove us to the house.
Well, now you guys were that first season too, right? Where they had
We were the first 145-pound season ever.
and where they had that first 32-man tournament to get into the 16. Usually it was they picked the house and you go into the house. You guys was the first season, I'm pretty sure, where they had a tournament to get into the house type thing.
I have no clue.
Well, we only had to fight once to get in. They brought 16 bantamweights and 16 featherweights, and then 8 of each guys. They narrowed it down to 8 of each. 8 of each went home.
Yeah.
And then 16 guys moved into a house.
Yeah. And I remember, I don't know. I just remember, did I even know you before we were picking rooms?
No, and I didn't even get in y'all's. This is a crazy story because I didn't even get in y'all's room. Like shit, we had to pick rooms, bro, and we didn't even have our teams yet.
Oh, that was later.
So you were picking rooms with the opposite team.
We
almost.
win.
Yeah.
They say, "Hey, congratulations, you won. Go move into this new house." Everyone's ecstatic. You're like little high school boys. You know what I mean? Everyone's running into this house like children, looking for this cool place to live, and it's. You don't even know who your teammates are.
Right.
Like, I kind of moseyed in. I was a little bit of the older guy, kind of grumpy of the season, I guess. And I kind of moseyed in. I fucking got screwed, dude. I got the shittiest. I got the room with like 8 beds in it. And it was right next to that patio thing that was upstairs.
Right.
So that's where all those guys that were the kind of, another, whatever. But
what we call? They had a posse name.
Night.
They had a pot. What did we call them? What would we call that? They had a posse name. Those 135 pounders that were really 125 pounders. We gave them a name.
Yeah.
What was it?
I can't remember. The leprechauns or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, dude, because there's like, and they were just loud and hyper and up all night, and they were right outside my bed, and I hated life.
Because they didn't cut. Wait.
You and Meg were sharing a room with Akira.
Not I was
then
mad at
Akira left to a doctor's appointment or something, and they put his damn bed on the jacuzzi cover, floating in the pool. I don't know how that didn't make the season. They never showed that.
Oh
that was one of the greatest days of our house.
Yes. So everybody, you remember Akira Kurosawa, right?
Of course.
So he was he was one of the most. He was actually great for TV.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
He was
Swedish,
like,
what is he?
Yeah, he's from Sweden.
Swedish. Yeah.
He really strived under attention and like
But even
always
for Americans and American TV, he's exotic in a sense because he's like this. He has a
yeah,
little bit
he
of
had an accent. Yeah, he was different. And when the way he fought, he hit fucking hard. You know.
Oh yeah. What, did we lose him?
No, he wants to FaceTime.
No.
Do you want to FaceTime me, dude? All right, yeah, good thing you canceled that. Stop trying to FaceTime me.
Oh shit, it's dark in here. I have to turn the light on. Hold on.
No, you don't have to FaceTime me, Johnny.
What's that?
If you want to watch this, go to twitch.tv/The Menace Bermudez. We're live right now on video.
I will certainly tune in and watch it.
All right.
So you fought this weekend, right?
I did. I just fought on Saturday night. Yeah.
All right, then go where you wanted to go.
Well,
Go.
no, I mean we're already talking about the Ultimate Fighter, how I know Johnny Bedford, and you're gonna go where we're gonna go, but you're cutting things off.
Well, we just had a little moment where we kind of lost
No,
our traction.
no,
So I was trying to get back
fuck
on.
that.
I was trying to get back on the train tracks.
Hang on, because I remember Johnny when we went in the house, Tough season 14. I walked directly in the door, and the first room I saw, I just went in and just put my things down.
You and him room together?
Hang on, so yeah, so and Dustin
Not
followed me.
originally. Not originally.
Not originally.
Now we lost.
What the?
And now we're FaceTiming.
What the fuck is going? Johnny, what are you doing to me?
Where is he from?
Texas.
Yeah, so we're dealing with the Texas internet. They don't got internet
Are
over there.
we?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, what happened there, dude?
I have no clue, bro. It
right.
just turned off.
All right, just don't let it happen again.
For those of you at home listening or watching online, Johnny Bedford, welcome back to Menace and the Man.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So.
Anyways.
So I walk directly in the house, and I just walk into the first room I see. I put my bag down. I didn't look at the rest of the house. I'm just like, bang, this is my room. This is my bed. And Dustin does the same. I had known Akira from the tryouts to get on the show, and we had a really good time. We went out clubbing and shit like that. He paid for a lot of shit. Like, I'm like, all right. Like, he was like a homie of mine, kind of, you know. And then, but he annoyed a lot of people.
Yeah, because he had like a pompous attitude.
Right. So and the thing is, he was way different on camera than he was as a human being.
I think also once you guys got into the house, it was also like, all right, I'm gonna have to fight this motherfucker. Like I'm gonna fight these guys.
Yeah. No, I think he talked the talk and he was down to walk the walk, but he was trying to be flamboyant, if you will, with what he did. He was trying to do crazy things.
Were you and him fight of the season, or you got submission of the season?
Submission of the season.
Submission of the season
Yeah.
for that fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a war.
But so Akira was in, and then I think it came out that like he's not on our team, whatever. So
Yeah.
tell the
he
story.
Got drafted by another team. I hate my living situation. He's kind of wants to hang out with that group that stays out all night anyways. He ends up getting his bed put in the pool, floating on jacuzzi cover. No one's supposed to help him. I mean, it was the greatest thing ever. They said his bed, his nightstand, I mean, they put his fucking lamp on it. And it was floating in the middle of the pool. And everyone thought he was going to be pissed off. And he comes home and he thinks it's the greatest thing ever. He's like laying in it, lounging. Then he's doing backflips off it. Everywhere. And we end up sinking this bed in the bottom of the pool. And a light bulb goes off as he's dragging all his wet shit out of the pool. I'm like, dude, I will help him. But in return, he will help me move all my dry shit into where his wet shit needs to go. And I'll help him move his wet shit up to where my stuff, I want to switch bedrooms.
Right.
And that's how it happened.
Hang on.
So we switched bedrooms because I got down with my two guys that At this point, we'd been there, a week, 2 weeks, maybe probably 2 weeks.
No, like a week.
You
no?
guys knew the possibility of having to fight each other. Me, you, and Dustin had developed a friendship. We were on the same team. Like, it just made sense, dude. I didn't want to be fucked with. I wanted to be in that little quiet room with 3 beds and not be messed with.
Yeah,
and
so
it was the best decision we ever made.
So the first room I put my bed in was a bedroom of 3 rooms. I looked at no other parts of the house. There was another room that had 3 bunk beds, and then there was another room that had 7 single beds.
Yep.
So I was like, what? I struck gold by putting my shit in this one little 3-bedroom apartment. I got 2 guys that aren't in my weight class, and these guys are, religious. These guys, like, we were praying. Why are you FaceTiming me again, Johnny?
My phone just keeps bouncing around, dude. I have it sitting here. I don't know what it's doing, bro.
Just put it down. You're an animal.
It's down. It's down.
I couldn't have had a better situation.
Yeah.
In my living quarters, because the thing is like at night, like you couldn't have TV, you couldn't have your phone, you couldn't have radio, you couldn't have. Like you can have literature. So
literature meaning reading or
yes,
reading?
Yes, and even that was they had to look at it and let you know if you could have it in the house or not.
The only thing they approved was books or magazines.
Yeah. So I wasn't raised in a house
that reads.
No, fuck off, dude. Well, hang on. Well, I wasn't, but like a religious setting where Dustin and Johnny are very religious.
Yeah.
So I would just ask them.
I went through it. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I would just ask them questions all night on like religion and stuff like that, and I would challenge some things, and then they would, explain it in their words, and I was like, man, this is real. It was almost like I had, or they would just read the Bible to me to sleep.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Learning experience. Almost.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
While those leprechauns were running around like fucking egging people and shaving people's heads and shit.
Oh, so who's the leprechauns?
Who was it again?
Well, they used to stay.
It was you said the smaller guys. It was the Dodson, the God Knows, the Ferguson.
That was the trio.
Yes.
And there was maybe one other guy, because those guys are all 125-pounders that there was no 125-pound in the UFC, and so that was the quickest way for them to get in the UFC was bump up to 135.
Yeah, just jump. Well, even didn't you cut to 145 to get on the show at that point, right?
Right.
You got to jump at the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So,
to be a reality TV star.
yeah, Johnny, I like to tell people that I was a reality TV star.
Yeah, you should put that on a business card.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No,
it's
but
true.
I mean,
it's true.
It couldn't have worked out any better because I got roomed with like 2 guys that were down for the same cause. We like stretched together. We did everything right together. We
bring those Normatec machines in our room and just a recovery. Like, we didn't stay up late playing games. Like, it was a good fit, dude.
Yeah,
and
it couldn't have been better.
What was the teaming?
So we were,
both on your team?
Yeah. Johnny Bedford and Dustin Pegg were both on Team Miller with me. Yeah.
Weight class. Yeah, that's perfect.
And a
That's
different weight
perfect.
class. So
you guys are riding for the same cause.
Yeah.
Let's better each other and fuck this house up. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
and we all did really well kind of because of it. You know what I mean? We all fought in the last 2 days in the semifinal.
Yeah.
Now, Dustin and I lost those fights, but you know what I mean? We were there for the long haul. Like, we never – that's what's crazy about that show is once you lose, then you have nothing to be there for other than to be a jackass.
You guys were there the whole time getting better, improving your skills, and fighting.
Now, let's say
we have a carrot at the end of the stick, you know what I mean? We have an opportunity to make it to the finale. Once you lose, you might as well drink beer. What else you got to do?
The whole time, Stan, you would have been out of this competition. So hang on. So the favorite Johnny, I know you missed this. There was a list that they give us, and you could write anything on that list, and within 24 hours, it would be there.
Oh, you're saying I would have got too much food? Is that what?
Well, no. Hang on. There was always, because it was sponsored by like Bud Light, there was always a fucking case of Bud Light chilled.
They wanted you guys to drink.
Ready
for TV.
to roll,
yeah.
like liquor or whatever you wanted. Always on stock.
Yeah.
You know?
Always.
Always. And I remember,
That's one of those scenes. Like your most famous scene on Tough is almost when you're like, he kicked my penis head. You know that scene?
no.
You don't know that scene I'm talking about? Yeah, like someone kicks you in the groin. And that's
Oh
it.
no, I had already
You're,
won.
like,
I had
wasted drunk.
already won the semifinals, and I was done.
Yeah,
I didn't have to compete anymore, and I got drunk.
The whole house gets drunk, and they show how you're wasted, and everyone's wasted, and
Yeah.
you're just like, on some
See,
other
it's
shit.
bullshit. I don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
He had to fight the
and
next
Johnny
day.
didn't fight on, let's call it, I don't remember the day of the week, but they fight on a Wednesday. I fight on a Thursday.
And that's the
Me
last
and
day.
The other Diego Brendao fight. I get let's just cut to the chase. I get knocked out by Dodson. I wake up and they say, here's your cell phone, go home. Like, I don't even get to go use this fucking lift, drink one drop of alcohol, order ice cream. I don't get to do shit. I went home, packed my stuff, and went home the next day.
Well, we all had our shit packed. People started packing to go
Yeah.
home like 2 weeks out.
They're homesick, I'm sure.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
ready to go, dude.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, no, even that. If you make the semifinals, though, you're pretty much guaranteed a UFC contract, and at this point, a spot on the finale.
Well. So they had the 145-pound semi-fight and the 135-pound semi-fight on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then on the Thursday they had the other one. After those fights, we went home
Gone.
on Thursday, grabbed our stuff, and then we went to another hotel, and then we flew out the next day. But that night, Dana took us out and stuff like that. It was pretty dope.
Is that the
Oh,
strip club night?
we could have went bonkers. That night was,
Is that the night where you got the coins?
Yeah, hang on, Johnny. Remember when he gave us $500 of tokens to use the strip club?
Yeah, and he said his words were, "When you run out, come back. I'll give you more."
He did not
So I'm
say
like,
that.
I told
explained
you.
the
He probably said
situation,
that.
like, we walk into the Spearmint Rhino, the largest strip club in the world. There's a VIP roped off section for us with just already any liquor bottle you could want already on ice for you. And then just girls are there like vultures because they know we're coming with Dana's money.
Johnny,
Vultures.
can I tell you something?
Yes.
Worst night of my life, actually, because I had $500 in tokens, and I had been there previously for like the interviews and stuff like that on my own dollar, and I knew how they were. So I'm like, $500. I came here with $200. I was upset. Now we have $500. All right, I'm gonna make this. This could be a good night, right? So I get one lap dance. All right, cool. Then I'm feeling crazy. I pay her, bang. I'm feeling crazy, Johnny. I get two girls. I got two girls dance on me. This is cool. And, they're $40 a pop, whatever. They get off. They're looking for their pay. I'm scanning my pockets. I cannot find any more tokens. I'm like, what? Yo, I hit my own pocket to pay these girls, and that was it. That was it.
Oh.
Hang on, because
I didn't have a good night because I got my ass kicked that day. I was bummed out. I thought I was
Right.
gonna make the finale. I was just ready to go home, so I didn't enjoy it. Everyone else did, I'm sure. Everyone that won that day or that didn't lose their fucking money.
right. I lost my money.
Can't help you there, dude.
Dude, and I didn't want to go to Dana White because I know other people were going to Dana White asking for more coins. He was like, "No, you're cut off." And I'm like, I'm not gonna be that fucking guy. So I just chilled and just drank. And I was out with Mayhem Miller till 5 o'clock in the morning that night. 6. I watched the sun come up.
Yeah.
But so you have a little run in the UFC, right?
Yep.
I remember you crushing Lewis in the. You're actually one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's the only guy I watch hold a guy down and soccer kick them in the ribs.
Who did you do that to?
He did it in the quarterfinals, and he did it in his Ultimate Fight night. He holds people down and soccer kicks them in the ribs. It's amazing.
Yeah, people go crazy because no one else does it. I'm like, you can legally kick him in the body. I just always just stand up and just start putting the boots to people.
Yeah, start stomping people. That's what they want. That's like De Niro.
Well,
Those are the movies they
you
love.
gotta watch Johnny Bedford, dude. He's an animal.
I feel like I've seen you do that with the knees a little bit.
Hang on, knees is different. He holds them down with one hand and then starts sucker kicking them in the ribs while they're against the cage, curled up.
Well, even maybe Johnny Bedford was built for Japan back in the day.
Soccer kick.
Soccer kicks. That's
Yeah.
what
I agree.
You guys,
I agree with you.
One of the fights comes to my mind is Phil Baroni versus Akisha Manoa. You ever seen that fight?
Negative.
You seen that fight,
Yes.
Johnny Bedford?
Yes, yes.
Phil stomps him out.
In the face or to the body?
Soccer kicks him in the face, and then after he rocks him with a soccer kick, he goes, "Let me stomp," and starts stomping. De Niro stomps.
On the face.
Face, head, and the guy
Yeah.
goes unconscious.
Yes.
I'm saying Johnny was doing it to the body.
Because that's what was within the rules.
Right, right.
If he had the head, he would have been soccer kicking in the face.
And I
I'm
had
sure.
been in the game for, 3 years, and it's the first time I'm seeing him. Like, what? Johnny Bedford is a complete savage.
Oh, clearly, hard-nosed dude.
Savage.
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 Like Johnny, because we've had many of talks, we have nothing other to do than just reminisce in the house, Johnny Bedford, like, if I had a street fight, like, he's on my team.
Yeah,
He
100%.
gives no fucks.
Well, even the guys now who'd be like, "Yeah, I'm down to bare knuckle box." You know that guy's a fucking savage. That guy's
Yes.
not playing fighting. He's
So-
not point fighting. You know what I mean?
So, Johnny, your stint with the UFC. Well, I mean, what happened exactly?
I started off hot, started off pretty obviously one-sided against Godno. Started off 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Had a really, we fought December 3rd, I think was the date. 2011 was our UFC debut after filming the show in June and July of that year.
Yes, it was. Good memory.
They scheduled me to fight. They called me right away after I won and said, this story's going to get longer than it probably needs to, but I ended up accepting a fight for January 24th-ish, something like that, late 20th, against Eddie Wineland. I was taking Demetrius Johnson's spot because Demetrius Johnson was pulling out to do the four-man inaugural flyweight tournament. Christmas Day-ish, Wineland pulls out. They replace him with UFC debuter Mitch Gagnon for same fight, July or January 20-something in Chicago. I've got 60 people. I grew up 4 hours from Chicago. I got 60 people coming to watch me fight in Chicago. And I get the call Wednesday when I'm already there. It says, "Bad news, your opponent can't get in the country." He had visa issues. Mitch Gagnon is still not. He's fights for the UFC, but he's never fought in the States. So I don't know if he's.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. But anyways, then I didn't fight for a while. Then I fought again in December of the next year, and knocked out Marcos Vinicius.
A 1 year layoff.
Yeah, well, I got scheduled in, so I fought December, got scheduled January, didn't work. UFC paid me show money. I was young, new in the game. I made, I was making pretty good money, or so I thought. Then I got scheduled to fight May, something like that. I don't remember. And there was an injury on my part. So then I got scheduled again for December of 12, and won again. I knocked out a Brazilian guy. That was tough 16 finale.
Right.
I knocked out Marcos Vinicius, started out 2-0. And then kind of ran into my run of bad luck and just bad performances. I don't blame it all on luck, and some of it's definitely my fault. I got scheduled my next fight to fight Eric Perez, Muay Thai only, right? Mexican Muay Thai champ.
Yeah, who's the badass?
And 14 days before the fight, maybe less. I'm training to fight a Mexican Muay Thai fighter. And he pulls out he's hospitalized with a staph infection, and they replace him with Brian Caraway, probably opposite ends of the spectrum as opponent-wise as you could get in the division. Brian doesn't want to do Muay Thai with anyone. He wants to take you
wants
down
to wrestle.
Yeah, he wants to wrestle, be on top, right? That's all he does. So, I had a bad camp. I was really arrogant to fight Perez, if I'm being honest. I kind of, got in my own head, and they switched it up on me, and I had some personal shit go on, too. I lost a grandfather 9 days before that fight. A bunch of weird shit happened, and there's no excuses. Brian Caraway out there just outworked me, dude.
Right.
I was losing the fight and took chances, ended up getting caught, choked in the third round. And my string of weirdness just happened in the UFC. My next fight, I was scheduled to fight Hani Yahya in Abu Dhabi.
Now the thing is, they're not like you're saying these names to me, and I remember them, but I forgot. But like, you're only being thrown studs.
Yeah.
Like all these guys you've named are now in the top 15. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I fought Caraway. I fought Dodson on the show. That's where I lost to. I fought Yahya twice. Here, the story gets crazy because I fight him twice. I get a really weird in Abu Dhabi, a really weird no contest versus Hani Yahya. I go out there, ding, ding, ding. I hurt him with a body shot. I'm beating him up, and the game plan was not to grapple with an Abu Dhabi champ. Obviously,
Right.
And everything's going according. He's taking shots. He's not having any success. He's basically running. He takes a shot, and at some point we bump heads, and I remember that, but he falls over, I jump on top, boom, boom,
right,
boom,
I
boom,
remember that.
Dude, I'm celebrating. Joe Silva comes in the cage.
I remember that.
Me. It was crazy, bro. Like, it was only a 32-second fight. But Joe Silva comes in, congratulates me. They make me look like an asshole because I go for the official announcement, and I'm raising my hand, and it's Dan Hardy's there instead of Joe Rogan. Dan Hardy being the in-cage commentator. And the first I hear anything about this weirdness, they go, and the official winner is no contest. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, no contest. Well, I'm so confused. It's a incidental headbutt, and I'm over here arguing like, I didn't headbutt anyone. He ran into my head trying to take me down. Like, I teach my son, like, in elementary wrestling to level change when they shoot. Block with your hands and your head. Like, what are you talking about? He ran into my fucking head. That's not my fault.
Right,
you know what I mean? So it just so happened that same week that I was in Abu Dhabi, the UFC released that they were coming to San Antonio, Texas.
Which is your neck of the woods.
And I live in Texas. So I use that as my platform.
I remember that.
Out, you know what I mean? He's over there in his broken English, like, I fight anytime, bro. I fight me right now and knock that out. But then I said, come to Texas, 9 weeks. I'll fucking knock you out again, blah, blah, blah. So UFC, there's a bunch of, it's being talked about because of the weirdness. They rebook it. He pulls out 2-3 weeks later, and they replace him with 0-1 in the UFC, Cody Gibson. So my official record at this point is two wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. I fight Cody Gibson as a replacement for Yahya. And, dude, it couldn't have went, like, almost exactly, well, the time and everything. Ding, 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 I go out there. He's just a wrestler. I hit him with a big shot. I hurt him a lot, and I go for the jump knee as he throws this looping overhand right. I fall on my back. I grab his wrist. I'm in full guard, and a Texas referee runs in and stops the fight. Like, so he looks up. The referee's like, panics, and waves it off. I mean, I was trending on Twitter and shit that night because Dana White fucking even tweeted about it. Like, I hate when refs ruin good fights. Because I was about to beat that dude up.
Yeah.
So now I got a no contest and a BS TKO loss back-to-back 9 weeks apart. They bring me on Fox. I told some truths, you know what I mean? I don't get paid all that much money, man. I got screwed out of 20 grand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
10 grand 9 weeks ago, 10 grand again today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to buy a house. I got 2 kids. Like, I'm getting screwed here, bro. We do not. I told some truths live on Fox. And then my last fight in the UFC, they then booked me to fight Hani Yahya again. And I fought him in his backyard down in Brasilia, Brazil. And, I don't have any excuses. I just flat out underperformed, dude. At first round, I won the first round. It was a sloppy round, but I won the first round. But I came back to my corner. My corner was like, what, like, who are you? What's wrong? I was like a zombie. And just wasn't there mentally, physically, just didn't.
People don't understand.
Wasn't myself, and ended up getting. He can choke anyone, right? He choked, or no, sorry, he can warn me actually. But yeah, like I said, he can submit anyone, and
people
he caught me and tapped me. So put my official record to 2 wins, 3 losses now. Caraway, a bullshit loss to Yahya, and bullshit loss to Gibson, and then Yahya now, and 1 draw. So put me at 2-3-1, and they gave me my papers to walk. So. It was a hard pill to swallow because I'm over here arguing like I'm 4-2. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah.
I beat Yaya in Abu Dhabi, and I was beating the brakes off that boy in San Antonio. Like, I thought it was unjust, but what do you do, you know?
Hang on. Dude, I'm contesting with you so hard because you've seen my shit. You know what I mean? Every time I fight, I call Johnny Bedford and I call Dustin Pegg, and they pray. We pray because that's what we did on the show, and I had good luck with that. And I'm like, man, I'm such a superstitious dude, and I believe these guys, man. And it's just like we have this brotherhood, and I call them, and me and my corner, we pray under Johnny Bedford or Dustin Pegg or both of them. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's our connection. But I remember, I mean, but now look at you throwing bare knuckles, which is probably more up your fucking shit than MMA.
I think it's kind of, I think it's kind of made for me. I think I'm made for bare knuckle boxing. I think that if, it's hard, and Dennis, you get it. You're at a different point in your career, right? But I'm
retired, dude.
Years old, man. I'm 36 years old.
Johnny, you know I retired, right?
I know.
Yeah. All right.
I'm 36 with 50-some MMA fights, 3,000 wrestling matches. I own a gym that's doing really fucking well right now. I've got a really good young fight team. I've got 2 amazing kids. I'm really, it's hard to get to grind and fight MMA. People are like, you gonna ever go back to MMA now that you're bare knuckle boxing? And I'm like, probably not, if I'm being honest, dude. Because first of all, anyone I fight in MMA today, it's going to be the biggest fight of their life. They're going to feed me to some 26-year-old kid that wants to beat a UFC vet to make a name off himself.
Right.
Where I can go fucking do bare knuckle boxing, get taken care of by these guys, and really at the end of the day, it's let's just stand up and see who's fucking tougher. And I think I'm tougher than most people. I think I understand that game, and I think bare knuckle boxing's kind of made for me, and I think I've kind of shown it.
We were talking about this earlier.
3 times now, and I'm 3-0. I'm moving on into the finals of their first ever lightweight tournament. I think I'm a crowd favorite. I think kind of like you said, I kind of am a savage. I appreciate that comment for what it was. Like, I like to be violent, I guess.
Because the thing is because I'll fight, and then you hear the backseat drivers like, hey, why, like, you're a good wrestler, why don't you take him down? I'm like, yo, bro, I will kickbox with anybody for a half hour versus wrestle with a good wrestler for 15 minutes.
Yes.
It's just easier to throw hands.
Wrestling's tiring.
It's less, it's less, it requires less endurance to throw strikes versus to wrestle and hold another grown man down against his will. Now Johnny Bedford just says 36. This dude could throw. Hang on. The thing is about Johnny Bedford is I would be in the house with this man. He's a weight class below me. He's a foot taller than me. This man's knuckles. Hang on. Johnny Bedford's knuckles are. It looks like he punches concrete walls all day long. I've got these little boy hands compared to him. And now this is bare knuckle.
Yeah.
I would not. I'm sure I'm heavier than Johnny Bedford, but I do not want to fight Johnny Bedford in a bare knuckle fight. I don't. And the thing is I love how they don't start you across.
They start you foot to foot.
They start you. No.
On the line.
They start you almost like a wrestling match. And I watched Johnny Bedford get up that line and get into a wrestling stance. Like, oh yeah, boy, you about to get fucked up.
It's on.
It's fun, dude. It's fun.
Johnny, I watched you fight and I was like, I think I got good hands. I contemplated it. Now the thing is, I fractured my thumb against a Korean Zombie, and I fractured my thumb in that last fight. My thumb, my left hand,
fucked.
Especially if I didn't have tape on it, is breaking.
But now even that, like Johnny, I was going to ask, like, they're paying you good money over there for bare knuckle boxing? Because it's risky, obviously. Like, you look at this weekend, you're getting your face is getting all zippered up. Like, you're getting stitched.
Not Johnny Bedford?
Not Johnny Bedford, but most people.
Now, he had a nice little gash.
Yeah, I got beat up a little more my second time fighting for them guys. They're paying me better than anyone in MMA is paying me right now.
Can you give me the number?
I probably should.
Can I look it up?
Even that,
I'll tell you off air.
Off air you'll get it. But even that,
Okay.
if they're paying you better than any MMA promotion other than the UFC might pay you now, then that gives us an idea a little bit. But yeah, then they're paying some serious money. They're paying a couple grand. They're paying good money.
It's yes.
Now, what's next for you with bare knuckle boxing?
He's in the finals.
They're saying either June or August. I'm gonna fight for their first ever tournament, for their first ever title at my weight class. They contacted me back in, I think it was, June of 18 for the first ever one. I saw, they were looking for this bare knuckle boxing thing, and I was, I left the UFC. I won four straight, and then I just flat out just underperformed and lost to a kid I never should have lost to. And so it kind of lost my, that momentum to go back to the UFC. I was getting older. I was coming off a loss. It was like, I don't think they're calling now.
Yeah, but Johnny, I watched you. Johnny, I watched you. They cut you, and I watched you still do MMA fights like, you know what, I'm 3 or 4 fights away from getting in the UFC again. I watched it.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
went and wrecked 4 guys straight. I finished 4 straight guys. And then, like I said, I just fucking had a really messy personal life at this time of my life.
Right.
Fought like shit, dude, and lost to a guy that never should have beat me. I ended up taking another MMA fight after that loss versus just an absolute, probably my favorite fight of my life, I'm being honest, my last MMA fight. A guy named Jesse Arnett. He's on like a 17-fight win streak. Beat like 40 UFC vets. He was a fucking savage, dude. And we beat the shit out of each other for 5 rounds in his hometown in Canada.
Send me the link. We're going to put it on Menace and the Man.
What's that?
So after we're done, send me the link. We're going to put it up on Menace and the Man.
Dude, it's one of the greatest fights ever. We beat the shit out of each other. I fractured my forearm. I got stitches in 2 places. He broke his fucking ankle or foot or something. He had stitches in 2 places. We beat the shit out of each other. He got a hometown. I think I won that fight. They paid me very well in show money for that fight, so I wasn't all that much. It was a really cool fight. But anyways, so I was on 2 losing streak. You know what I mean? UFC's definitely not calling. I'm getting older, blah, blah, blah. Bare knuckle boxing comes around. I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm just writing chapters in my book, right? Like, why the hell not? This is kind of, fuck you. Like, I left college wrestling because I was a knucklehead that I liked getting in trouble. You know what I mean? I went from small town America to downtown Cleveland to go wrestle and found a couple guys that liked being the tough guys in the room and showing everyone. And I really thrived with that. I got in a bunch of trouble when I was 19 and 20 years old for bar fighting all the time.
Oh, yeah. Phil Mansueto's watching right now.
It's kind of made for me. Like, I just want to be that. I did, you know what I mean? Having a kid young was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me grow up. But
yeah,
I was a fucking knucklehead for a couple years. So when bare knuckle boxing came, I was like, I know I'm good at this. I know I'm really good at this.
Phil Mansueto is watching this right now. Or he's going to listen to Phil Mansueto.
Oh, yes.
Or he's listening to this week, I promise you.
This dude is an animal.
He's from my neck of the woods, upstate New York.
I know he is. I know you know those 2.
Yeah. Rocco. Oh. Can you give me a little dirt on those 2?
There is no dirt. They just fucking work hard at everything they do. There's no dirt on them. I wish there was.
Now, I used to beat Phil.
I showed up and they're like, hey, these are the guys you're going to have to wrestle every day. I was like an 18-year-old fucking freshman. Like, these Division I national qualifying twin animals are just going to beat on me.
Hang on. You have no idea. These 2 are like... I don't. Which one was at 125? Which one was at 33?
Rocco was at 25 and Phil was at 33.
And which one did you have to beat out for a spot?
I didn't have to beat. There was no beating them out. Which one did? No.
Well, what weight class were you trying? They were putting you in as a 33 pounder, right?
33. Yeah. Phil got hurt my freshman year, and so they threw me varsity for a couple tournaments. But then he came back, and it's like, you want to wrestle off? I'm like, no thanks. You can just have it. I don't need my ass. Hang on.
Today. Did he use if you took a bad shot at him, would he choke you almost unconscious?
Yeah, they're physical. They're mean. Yeah. You had to fight those sons of guns if you wrestled them. It was
Legit
not a wrestle.
fight. Hang on. How great, if they were younger, would MMA have been for those two fucks?
Oh, dude, they boxed in a wrestling stance every day. It was just uppercut and head snap.
Oh, at that hard Chris Wade
No,
club.
you don't. No. This is the Mansueto club.
It's a bitch fist.
And no, it's different. He hit you with his forearm and almost blacked you out. Hang on, this is hang on. I had Mike Cease he was in the round of 12 like 2 years in a row. Phil used to fucking just
machismo him.
Just big brother him. He was fucked up.
I got you. I got this guy.
It was fucked up. He was mean. And the thing is like after you could have like almost like, am I gonna have to fight this guy, fist fight this guy? But like you didn't want to fist fight him because you in your head what was going on was like he'll beat me in a fist fight. And then you get up and he would smile at you, pat you on the back like everything was cool. Yeah. But like what you just did to me was not cool.
Game bred.
Yeah.
He was just game.
No, he would cheat.
He was game.
He would bite. Hang on,
Bro,
Johnny.
If you have Chael Sonnen, if you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Hang on, Johnny Bedford. How many times has he bitten you?
I don't remember. It's been a while. I don't know that
it might have been a joke as him because he was for you. He was on your team. For me, he was my coach. He would bite sometimes. I think it was a joke though. He just wanted to hurt you. Yeah.
You'd regret like taking like good shots, like
oh
my trying to score.
Gosh.
Like fuck, now I'm gonna get.
Hang on. So Johnny, for you, he's competing against you. He's just trying to beat you. For me, he was trying to teach me a lesson.
Yep.
So take what he did to you, because he didn't want you to get better. He wanted to keep his spot.
Well, he just wanted to work hard. That's what I remember about those two more than anything, dude. They were animals.
Now, the only thing I beat Phil Mansueto in is we would do a 3-mile run, a 2-mile run, a 1-mile run. I would always beat him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's pissed right now that you said that, if that's true.
Hang on. No, he would, because the thing is it'd be like the last lap of a 3-mile run, and I would just fucking turn it on, and he'd be like, I don't get it. How the fuck? I was gaining on you slowly, and then the last lap, you just took off like you didn't just run 2 3/4 miles. Like, yeah, fuck you, Phil.
You got freak weird cardio, though, too.
Freak cardio, Dennis.
He would always take second or third, though, in the runs. And the thing is, right for this, he didn't have to do the runs. He was an assistant coach. He didn't have
he's still running with guys taking second or third on the team. Yeah. He's probably still running like that right now.
Hang on. You don't follow him?
Yeah, I do. He's always running through the woods.
He does triathlons. He does, rides mountain bikes. He runs through woods. He'll probably beat me now. But give me 1 month, Phil, and I'll beat you.
Oh, good luck with that.
Ooh.
No. Well, the thing is, he was always a small guy. So, the max he was as a coach was, 160. He's probably 145 now, 150, because all he does is run. He doesn't lift like he used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But Johnny, so bare knuckle we got sidetracked. Yep. Back to bare knuckle fighting. What was the, did they hit you up? Did you have to sign up for something to get in? What got you in there?
So I saw as they were looking, I was like, man, that's fucking cool. And I knew, you know what I mean, that I could use the UFC as my in. And it was just random that the guy that they decided to team up with to do the matchmaking was so happened to be the guy who did my was the matchmaker for my pro MMA debut back in 2005. I wasn't in Texas. I was still living in Ohio. Texas wasn't even a thought in my mind at this point. So I had been friends on social media with this dude since 2005, 2006 maybe. And he's the one saying, looking for bare knuckles in a message. And he's like, dude, you're perfect. Yes, we want you. What do we need to do? And I'm like, I'm just trying to write cool chapters in my book, dude. This is the first time this shit's been sanctioned in 131 years. I think I'm probably tougher than most guys that walk this earth. I think that bare knuckle boxing kind of made for me. Like, yes, sign me up. And kind of how it happened. You know, they announced that they were doing that big heavyweight tournament. They started that first ever event back in, like, I think it was June of 18. And I was on that first ever inaugural card. It was really freaking cool, man. And I fought a Bellator vet, and I went out there and I just beat him up, for lack of a better term. I just beat him up pretty bad. And another kid that night that the bare knuckle had found was a kid from Virginia, real good boxer kid named Reggie Barnett. He kind of shined that night too. And so we're out afterwards, and we're talking with the promoter, and Barnett and I are both like, so we're the next tournament, right? We kind of stole the show. And it kind of worked out that way. I'm glad that we said it, because that's when they announced that they were doing the next tournament. So Bare Knuckle 2, they left Wyoming, which the only state that sanctioned it. They got sanctioning down in Mississippi.
That's where I missed you.
Went down to Biloxi, Mississippi, and I wasn't on that card.
Because I was doing a cross-country trip. I was doing a cross-country trip, and I was like going to crash at your place, but you had to go fight in Wyoming, no?
Yes, it was when I was in Wyoming.
Yes.
Yes. So then they started the tournament, Bare Knuckle 3, down in Biloxi, Mississippi. I had a pretty crappy 2018. Went through some nasty custody stuff and just really, really rough year, dude. It was the lowest I've been, man, if I'm being honest. 2018 was a really bad year for me. And I kind of let it bleed into it, and then in October, you know, that it kind of spiraled out of control. And I won in that first round of the tournament. I fought a kid with like 50-some MMA fights. He had a shitty record, or 50-some professional fights. He had like 15 MMA fights and like 30-some boxing fights. He had a shitty record, but he'd done that walk a bunch, and that experience definitely counts for something. Yeah. And I underperformed, but I got the unanimous decision. You know, I think I clearly won it 3-2, 4-1 maybe. But anyways, I moved on, and you know, 2019 has really been completely night and day different from 2018, and I'm very thankful with that. You know, me and my kids we're all good. We're happy. Life's way better. And you know, I kind of said it in one of my post-fight interviews in the semifinals that I just had Saturday, that you know, when shit goes right, it tends to keep going that way. You know, when your personal life's a mess. Yeah. You know, your
I heard
professional
that in an interview. Yeah.
Now, I let my personal life become a mess, and it made my UFC stint get real messy. You know, like,
right.
I've done stuff I'm not proud of, and you know, it's led to the situations that I'm in now. And you know, I can't change the past, but I know I'm a veteran now that your personal life definitely matters on how you perform in these sports, and this game is all mental. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm in a really good place right now, and I think Saturday night kind of showed that. You know, I went out there, I was having fun, and I think I'm just better than these guys in this sport. I think that I'm going to be the poster boy of that lightweight division. I don't see many guys that my size that want to meet and stand 3 feet away from each other with no gloves on and say, knuckle up, and we just start punching each other. You know what I mean?
So
it's
Johnny,
completely different.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game.
Yeah. So with that being said, from the outside looking in, you could take this with a grain of salt. And I love the way you fight, but you're so much longer than all those guys, but you get in the punching range and brawl with these guys.
Every time.
I know. It's like you have the advantage of like keeping it just picking out them, but you're like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to fuck this guy up.
I want to fight in a phone booth. Like, if they made that ring 10 feet smaller, I would be happy.
Oh, my God. I love how you kept calling that guy to the center. Like no.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Let's fight in the middle. That definitely played with that guy's head.
If you stand in the middle. I wasn't going to leave that middle.
Well, what's the word, Johnny Bedford? Did they get in touch with you for June 22nd? Or, because that's what I'm seeing is the next possible event.
They're going to do June 22nd. They said it's going to be possibly then, or they're going to wait to put us on the finals in August. I talked to them after the fight. You know, I was elated. I was happy with my performance and glad to move on. I said I'm good with either, being 36. I'm okay with taking a month off, not having to go back in a training camp right away. But whatever they decide, I mean, I didn't take any damage in that fight, man. I could fight next month if I needed to, which is good, and I feel good. My ultimate goal, if I'm being really honest, I hope that Bare Knuckle obviously continues to succeed because it just helps me and what I'm trying to accomplish financially. You know what I mean? The better they do, the better I can do. I'm really hoping that they are able to book that big fight that everyone's talking about, Artem versus Paulie Malignaggi, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're getting to the end of this interview, Johnny. We're about to try to call Paulie and get him on the phone and see what's going on with that Artem Lobov fight.
I want that fight for Bare Knuckle because Bare Knuckle's, that's my company now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm signed with Bare Knuckle. I'm a Bare Knuckle guy. I'm a Bare Knuckle. I'm gonna fight for them for probably I may retire with them. I win this belt. Like, I'm gonna make my money. I'm 36. I don't know how much longer I'm in this game, but I'm made for Bare Knuckle. I don't need to wrestle every day with Division I guys. I can do this for a while, and I'm really good at it. But my goal is to hopefully I want to be the co-main for the first ever lightweight title for the main event of Artem and Paulie, because we all know that's going to get the most views of anybody.
Oh, 100%. And hopefully they give that to you because you are 3-0 at this point, right? You've earned it.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I'm 3-0. I've had one decision, but the other two have been really fun to watch. Just one-sided ass kickings, for lack of a better term. Like, I'm just meaner than these guys, and it shows right away.
Oh, for sure. And like Menace was saying, you're that guy who you're down to brawl. Like, you'll walk to the front, you're going to draw that line, and you're going to stand and trade with somebody. You're not trying to point fight in a bare knuckle fight. Like, you're looking to throw down.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Johnny Bedford, thank you again for joining us, and let's make you a regular on the show. I know you and Menace have so many stories, and you could talk so much about, like, when you first met Menace, and you guys have endless stories about the show, so let's get you on here and let's get them all out there.
Dude, I love it, guys. I had a great time tonight. I really would. Send me the link, guys. I'm going to blast it out. Let's get you guys any help I can do, and anytime you want me, man, I would absolutely love it. I'll hang out with you guys anytime.
Oh, 100%. That sounds like a plan, Johnny Bedford. So maybe June 21st, June 22nd, maybe August. Let our followers know how they can find you.
You'll know. Once I find out, I'll let you guys know first. We'll come back on and break the news.
Oh, for sure. What's your social media, though? Let everybody know how they can find you.
Find me on Twitter or Instagram at Brutal Bedford. Facebook is just my name, Johnny Bedford. You can find me there.
All right. Brutal Bedford, Johnny Bedford. Everybody check him out. Thank you again for joining us, Johnny.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all very much. Have a good night.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
I get to say goodbye to Johnny Bedford.
You just came in a second too late. You and Johnny Bedford could have went for hours. I was trying to wrap it up, but
yeah, I saw that, and I was like, dude.
Well, I didn't want to leave Paulie hanging.
I didn't know we were getting Paulie.
I told you we were getting Paulie. I wasn't fucking playing games. We might have went a little over, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Hello.
Paulie.
What's up?
How are you? Welcome to Menace and the Man. Stan the Man here. Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Yo, what up, Paulie?
How you guys doing? You guys good?
We're
what
good.
Up, big dog?
Good. Good to see you guys. Good to talk to you guys.
Now we're joined by boxing world champion Paulie Malignaggi. We were just talking to Johnny Bedford, getting into some of the bare knuckle boxing. So what's going on with you? You're jumping in June 22nd?
Yeah, that seems to be the plan. I think we're in the process of confirming everything, and it seems like that's going to be a go. And I'm in the process of getting myself ready for that.
So nothing signed yet, right?
Well, I think that's the tentative goal. I think it just depends on just confirming it. I mean, I didn't officially sign, but I mean I think that's where everything's headed. As far as my team is concerned, as far as what the promoter Dave Feldman has told me.
Oh, and that's gonna be beautiful. They got some crazy, what's that internet fucking segue this week with that bitch slap that you hit Artem Lobov with.
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean he kind of had it coming. It wasn't really my intention to go there and do that, but he got a little bit disrespectful, so I had to check him and put him in his place.
The thing is Listen, Paulie, I would tell you to the face if I thought you sucked or I thought, like, I don't think this is a fair fight. I really don't.
I'll be honest with you. I think I thank God mixed martial arts fans are some of the dumbest bastards in the world. You know? It wasn't for them to fight with themselves, you know. But I have to be honest. Also, when I saw the fight, it only made me more confident about the fight with me. You know, like I don't know if people thought like the brutality of it and then the blood and all that other stuff maybe it was gonna scare certain people. That stuff will only scare you if you don't have a self belief in your skill set. You know, I'm light years ahead of these guys, you know, and so when I saw the way they were fighting and how they were fighting, it only made me more confident in my ability to really, really hurt Lobov. And on fight night, I have to be honest, I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna hurt him really, really severely.
Because you're gonna be the first boxer ever that is a real motherfucking boxer, world champion to fight bare knuckle.
Kind of, yeah.
What do you mean, kind of?
In today, like, what's the guy? Bobby Gunn.
He's not on Paulie's level.
I think I'm the biggest name in modern combat sports and modern boxing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I've had some boxers. There's a guy who was on the undercard the other night who was a pretty good boxer himself, and I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah,
now.
but Paulie, he's not as good as you are.
I think
he's not world champion.
No, of course not. But he's
right.
Got a good skill.
Yeah, well, like the one I always equate to is Bobby Gunn, right, Paulie?
Yes, Bobby Gunn is also.
Like Bobby Gunn
is more of a legend in the bare knuckle.
Legend, and then when he came in, he fought an old Roy Jones. He got fucking beat up for 8 rounds and then iced eventually. Yeah,
right. But he was not a world champion like Paul. Like, hang on, I'm not trying to butter you up. I'm calling it. Hang on, I am an MMA guy. I did that.
Yeah, as far as name recognition, I understand where you're going. I understand.
No, but like, no, fuck names. I'm talking about stats.
Skills, yeah.
Yeah, like definitely. Proven skill.
Mm-hmm. I trust me, guys. You're preaching to the choir. I know exactly where I stand as far as my skill set is concerned. As a matter of fact, every day when I'm training right now, I actually feel better and better about myself. You know, like today, like yesterday and today were my first workout since the fight on Saturday night, and both days I was just like, man, I'm way too good for this guy. This is the way I was popping my shots and combinations, and it's the way everything was coming out, and I was just like, this is gonna be bad for him, man. This is gonna be very, very bad, you know. So I mean, I'm only getting more and more confident. Like I said, I can only hope that I don't severely hurt this guy. You know,
wow. Hey, he signed the contract.
Yeah, and I know he's been disrespectful to boxers. I know the problem with the mixed martial arts community is they talk about we have pillows on our hands with the 8-ounce gloves, you know. Unfortunately, I take a big offense to that because I've known personally guys that have died, guys that have had some severe traumatic brain injuries that have had the rest of their lives altered for good. I've seen the way the families have had to deal with it. I've known guys personally. I've known their families personally. Several guys. I've been boxing 20 years, and it hit me on a personal level several times. So to hear that people talk about we fight with pillows on our hands, that community, I feel like they deserve to. I feel like they deserve to have to see one of their own get severely injured. You know, yeah. I can only say I fear it, but on fight night, I know I'm going to have no mercy on this guy.
Yeah, because Chris Algieri's come on the show twice. I've sparred with Chris Algieri. I've worked with Chris Algieri. And, you know, we were sparring with 16-ounce gloves because it's sparring, which is training. And then he pulls me aside and he showed me what a real boxing glove fight night is. It's the same thing as an MMA glove. It just covers more surface area, but it's the same thickness.
Yes, I mean, the padding on an 8-ounce glove is basically the same as a 4-ounce glove. It's
exactly.
Just, our gloves have padding more spread out, so it becomes 8 ounces because the thumb is padded, the wrist is padded, and all that other stuff. If you remove all that,
the knuckle's the same.
You're going to wind up with the same padding as a 4-ounce glove, you know?
Maybe less.
Yeah,
on the knuckle.
Well, then it almost turns into a game of accuracy.
I think if anything proved it more than anything is the uppercut McGregor landed in round 1 against Floyd Mayweather, and the smile Floyd had on him, and the continued nonchalantness of his aggressive approach to McGregor. If anything, that will go to show you that the power doesn't translate the same way when you're hitting boxers.
Right.
But also there's a padding situation in the gloves where it's kind of the same thing. It's just they're missing the thumb padding and they're missing the wrist padding, you know?
Right.
So,
right.
And again, I've always said through the years, no disrespect to any combat sports, because if you do combat sports for a living,
you're a badass motherfucker.
Exactly. You're a badass and you deserve to be spoken as a badass, and you deserve to be given credit, because It's not an easy way to make a living, and it's a very ruthless way to make a living. But
For sure.
But when you start to disrespect where I come from because you think you come from a better place or whatnot, I take offense to that. Like I said, I have known personally people that have died. I've known personally people that have had severe traumatic brain injuries that have had the rest of their life altered. I've known their families. I know the way this affects people, and I've never ever even heard of it one time happening in mixed martial arts. I'll be honest with you, because traumatic brain injuries are what hurts, not cuts, not broken bones. You heal from those. You don't heal from traumatic brain injuries. Okay, so when I hear that community disrespecting my community in the way when I've seen the things I've seen in 20 years in boxing, I take it as a severe disrespect and a big spit in my face. And I feel like on fight night, because Lobov has also spoken this way, I feel like on fight night it's time for maybe one of their own to feel what I felt through the years, having had to meet certain people like that.
Yeah,
I told him to his face. I told him to his face. After I slapped him, I told him to his face when we go face to face for the photo op. I told him, "Your family's gonna cry. I'm telling you right now. You're barking up the wrong tree. Your family will cry after you fight me. Your family will cry." What I mean by that is I've seen families traumatized completely because they've had to take care of somebody who's handicapped for the rest of their life, and I've seen families traumatized completely because a family member of theirs has died from a fight in the ring. I do not take this disrespect lightly. This is probably much more disrespectful than the entire Conor McGregor thing. The way I've heard that spoken about is probably the most disrespectful thing I've ever had to deal with in my sports career.
What are you talking about the Conor McGregor thing?
What happened? What about it?
What are you talking about the Conor McGregor thing? Him talking about religion, or you and him when you guys trained together?
No, just the beef. I feel like it's much more disrespectful than what Conor McGregor did to me. You know what I'm saying? As far as all the respect I went through with Conor McGregor and his camp and his team, including Lobov being a part of it, I don't think I think it still pales in comparison to when you disrespect my sport and the viciousness that is involved in my sport. And like I said, I've seen deaths. I've seen permanent traumatic injury to fighters. And when you talk about my sport, like it's some kind of picnic in comparison to your sport, like it's some kind of picnic, like now I'm barking up the wrong tree, like because I'm fighting you in bare knuckle, and we always fight with quote unquote pads. Those pads are exactly what I've seen guys suffer these traumatic injuries with. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I've never seen a mixed martial artist, and that's not to say they don't have a tough sport, and that's not to say that they don't come from a tough background and all that stuff. It's nothing to do with that. But I've never ever noticed any mixed martial artist ever wind up in a situation that I've seen boxers wind up in. Never, ever, ever. Not after one night on a certain night, on a certain fight.
Now, being an MMA fighter, fighting at the highest level, if I'm getting beat up on my feet, I can change where the fight goes, or I can throw more kicks, or I can let you take me down. In a boxing match, if you fucking are losing, how the fuck are you gonna figure it out?
You're getting brain damage. Yeah.
Not only that, you have an option to quit, like Conor McGregor did with Nate Diaz. You see, quitting is accepted in mixed martial arts, not because you tap, because tapping when you're in a submission is obviously normal. Even I can admit that.
Right.
But how you wound up in that submission, nobody knows. You can actually put yourself in a position to wind up in a submission.
Oh, I see it all the time. You give a guy your back. It's kind of like a way of tapping.
Conor McGregor shot in at Nate Diaz, knowing Nate Diaz was supreme on the ground. He wanted out of that fight. When he did that, you knew he was looking for a way out of that fight right away. And we're only in round 2 there. So you talk about the level of lack of character that he has. When I said no balls with Conor McGregor, it wasn't a catchphrase. It was because I knew what he has. He's not a man. He doesn't come from the places he says he comes from. He hasn't had the life he says he's had, because when you've had it so tough, trust me, I've got a lot of years in combat sports. When you've had your life be that tough, and ass whipping is the least of your worries. And ass whipping is not nearly the worst thing in the world when you come from a really bad background. Yeah. And this guy, whenever he's facing an ass whipping, is looking for the first exit out of the fight every single time.
And that's
I know he's lived a coddled life.
Right.
Because only a person that's lived a coddled life is that scared of an ass whipping when it's facing them.
Because in the boxing community, like, if you're getting your ass whooped, your corner has to pretty much throw the towel for you. Otherwise, or
you can quit and get very criticized. It's not accepted.
Right, and you ain't getting no title shots doing that.
I've seen fighters that didn't quit. I've seen fighters that were in traumatic fights. Even competitive fights that were brutal. Adonis Stevenson was winning against Alexander Vostok recently when he got knocked down around 12. You couldn't see that coming. Magomed Abdusalamov a few years ago, that was a competitive fight with Mike Perez. He was taking shots. That was a competitive fight with Mike Perez. Gerald McClellan and Nigel Benn. that was a competitive fight. You couldn't think about stopping those fights when, even though there was a brutality to them, because they were so competitive that winning and losing was on the line. You wouldn't think that, you've seen many brutal fights that nothing happens at the end of them. So you wouldn't think like, oh, we're going to stop this fight because it's brutal. In that moment, you're just thinking this fight's competitive. You're not thinking about stopping it. Meantime, there's a man dying in there. You know what I'm saying? There's a man
slowly dead.
He's slowly dying in there. You don't even realize. So again, I don't take lightly the comments that I've heard in the mixed martial arts community. I don't take lightly the comments that I've heard, especially from Artem Lobov, and I don't take any of that lightly. When, like I said, I have seen personally, and I've known personally people who've had their lives altered or ended on fight night when these things happen.
Because another thing too with MMA versus boxing is there's a much smaller surface area.
I don't think it should be an MMA versus boxing thing because, like I said, I think.
Well, no. I'm talking about in terms of like brain damage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like with a 4-ounce glove, it's a much smaller surface area where you can hit the button.
I tell you what it is too. There's more strikes in boxing. That's what
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, repeated head strikes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're striking on a lot more often. Also, you have the 10 count in boxing. You can actually be concussed, get up, continue to box, continue to fight.
Paulie.
In MMA, the instant you are injured, the guy jumped on you and the fight gets stopped. So
Paulie,
you don't get.
Have you seen any of my fights?
No.
I could have used a 10 count.
But what I'm saying is the 10 count sometimes hurts you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going down. Now you're obviously getting up competing, but now you've had a concussion. You've taken some traumatic stress on your brain. But you've beaten the 10 count, and your instinct is to keep fighting and keep fighting hard.
Yeah.
So now on top of that issue that you've been given, you're going to continue to take shots on top of it.
Right.
In an MMA fight, it may look brutal. The guy gets rocked. The guy goes on top of a couple of hammer punches. It looks awful. But the thing that injures boxers, if you notice, is long, draining fights of this kind of traumatic issue. It's not the short, quick knockout. You never see the short, quick knockout wind up in a bad situation in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Always the fights that drag out long in a vicious way. So the whole thing with MMA, with sometimes the knockouts look brutal. God bless. I'm not even God bless because you know what. But at the end of the day, that saves those guys.
Yeah.
That saves those guys.
Now, Paulie, where are you doing this fight camp?
Right now I'm in New York. I'm gonna shift over to somewhere else later this month.
Okay. And
then probably end up back in New York since the fight's probably on the East Coast.
Because the first person that ever told me about you was Mike Camp.
Mike Camp, yeah, man.
He's
Mike's
the man.
my guy. Yeah, Mike's the guy, man.
I'm pretty sure you're the person that made him fall in love with fighting and like wanted to take care of fighters.
Well, I think I got Mike into boxing because
Long
Long Island is a big MMA community, and I used to see like when I would be at Camp's office and in his gym, I would see guys like Chris Weidman, although nobody knew Chris Weidman yet, but he was going up there and working out with Camp. So I think Mike was always in the MMA community and whatnot.
Hang on, from the outside looking in and being in his office, and I worked with Mike a ton of times, Mike Camp. He spoke about you as like the primary guy, and then it was Chris Algieri, and then Ryan LaFleur.
Myself, and Mike helped me a lot in the years I was working with him. After I worked with him for a little bit, I ended up moving to California for a few years.
Right.
And we didn't work, but Mike has always been a very smart guy. Mike's always been a guy who has given his honest assessments.
Yes.
And always been willing to help. And he's a smart guy. There's a lot of know-it-alls in these kind of businesses, but they don't really know it. Mike is actually a legitimately smart guy. And what I like about a guy like Mike is he takes pride in his work.
Yes.
I want in certain jobs, I want a prideful guy. I want a prideful trainer. I want a prideful doctor. I want a prideful lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I want guys who believe in their ability to make me better or to improve me or in a lawyer's case to defend me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's a big thing on Long Island. Like, I mean, you're a Long Islander through and through, no?
New Yorker.
Yeah. Well, I have a house on Long Island, but I'm original Brooklyn. I'm born in Brooklyn.
Okay. But yeah, New Yorker for sure.
I'm actually driving to Brooklyn from Long Island right now. From my house, I'm in Long Island.
Okay. You can get a midnight session in?
No. I had a dinner to get to out in Massapequa. It was there were a couple of Sopranos actors there in my friend's restaurant, El Vicio.
Oh,
and, it was
you were right out here by us, Paulie. Next time we get you on the show, let's get you in studio. We'll bring you out to West Babylon, right out on Long Island.
Dude, I'll get you the best Italian food.
Yeah. We can set up. Yeah, I mean, all the Italians from Queens went to Long Island, All the
Right.
ones from Brooklyn to Staten Island. So I know,
well,
I
even
know where my community is. You know,
even
they're not
how
in Brooklyn Queens anymore.
even how we hooked this interview up, my Goomba cousin Phil Baroni.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of
So
Italian New Yorkers.
speaking of straight up Goombas, 100%
Yeah.
Italian. So and even that, like a little bit about Future Legend. Like, so what is it? Like you, Phil, and Future Legend own Future Legend?
Yeah. Future Legend, my friend Future Legend, his original name is Frankie, but then he legally changed his name to Future Legend just to really put the extra stamp on it, you know. And we've got our clothing company, and through the years we've been growing bit by bit, and we're really big in the world of wrestling right now, which is a big niche market, and we've got a lot of guys like Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio have really backed us up, to name a few, you know. You know, it's a growing company little by little. You know, these things don't grow overnight, but I really love our company, and I really love the quality. If anybody has a chance to see the quality of our work, it's I think it's we make a lot better quality than a lot of companies that maybe are more known, you know. But you got to get yourself out there bit by bit.
Yeah, we just had Steve Blackman on earlier. Do you remember him from the I don't know, probably early 2000s?
Old
From
school, old
in
school,
MMA?
old school
No,
pro wrestler.
he's in WWE.
Oh, no. I tell you what, my wrestling background is 80s, because when I was a kid,
Okay.
and then late 90s with the Rock and Stone Cold brought me back.
Well, that's when he was on.
Yeah, so maybe I remember him from back then.
He was the
Rock
hardcore
and
champ, the lethal weapon. He came out with the
He was
kendo
he was the
stick.
hardcore, that was around when they made the hardcore title, around the late 90s.
That's Steve Blackman.
Yes,
With
that's
Mankind,
Steve Blackman.
with Mankind and the Hardy Boys and all that stuff, and all that.
You know
Yeah.
what it is? We got to get the New York Badass in the WWF. That's what we really need to
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some wrestling. He's
He-
done it in Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's into it now. WWF just has
like a lot of
WWE
MMA
just has to catch on.
I feel like a lot of the MMA community is like a cousin of the wrestling community. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a lot of characters in MMA that remind me of wrestlers.
I mean, you know Paulie from dealing with it, being a boxer, dabbling in MMA, even a little bit of pro wrestling. The fans are always mixed, but there's always those ones that cross over, you know?
Yeah, of course. And like I said, I mean, I think you can be more of a fan of one than the other. I just don't believe in criticizing the other. You know, I until I went through this whole fiasco with McGregor and this whole issue with all this other stuff, I really never had a bad word to say about MMA. I'm actually friends with a lot of MMA fighters. You know, Anthony Pettis.
You're a business partner with an MMA fighter, Phil Baroni, yeah.
Pierre, Phil Baroni. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know, I've always had a lot of respect for combat sports in general, but then, you know, this whole McGregor beef, like it was almost like eye-opening, like the fact that these guys started to become trolls. It's one thing when fans become trolls. It's another thing when fighters become trolls. I mean, I had guys like Max Holloway trolling me, you know, like Chase Sherman, who just fought in the Bare Knuckle fight the other night. Trolling hard on my social media, like weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be like, dog, you're not a fan. You're a fighter. We're fighters. We're businessmen aside from being fighters. You weirdo. What is your deal, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe these guys didn't make enough money, or maybe these guys, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely opened my eyes to the weirdness of the whole community that I didn't know was there before that.
Why, Paulie, you know who Max Holloway is, right?
Yeah, he's the champion now at 145, I believe.
You know who has a win over Max Holloway?
McGregor.
Dennis Bermudez.
Oh, does he?
You talking to me, big dog? Come on now. You talking to a slouch? I'm not a slouch.
No, I mean, I knew you were the real deal. I didn't know you had the Holloway win too. You know what? But you know, troll or not, I give Holloway credit. He's done well in his career.
No, he's an animal. He's good.
And-
I can't like take away. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's a G.
He trolled me on social media. He was talking to me like I was some kind of fan or something like that. I was some kind of like, you know, some guy you just deal with on social media. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was eye opening to me because
I'm like, I'll be honest. I love some Max Holloway, but like we talked about last week, Dennis, if you and Max Holloway went 7 rounds or 7 hours, you were fucking him up that night.
Yeah, for sure.
You were fucking him up that night.
Now,
everybody's in the world. You know what I mean? Like I've never ever let it be known or even made it be hinted that I could survive in a cage. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I've never, you know, a lot of mixed martial arts in the community and whatnot don't give their same respect back. You know, it's a strange thing. You know, like I think we all have our skill set, and you know what? In the street, yeah, okay, you have a certain advantage in the street if you're a mixed martial artist over anybody. What do you think? I'm boxing in the street? Like I don't understand.
No chance.
Like, you know, I don't understand. Like, is there a rule book where like a boxer has to box in the street? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird thing. Not to mention, at a certain age, you really try to avoid street fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 38
for
years
sure.
old.
Oh, when you're like 18, 21, after 21, I think you try to avoid street fights. You
Yeah.
get to a few and you
Now,
realize.
hang on.
Don't get me wrong. When you're in nightclubs, they happen. So up until like my late 20s, as I was going out a lot, like, don't get me wrong, I would end up in fights in nightclubs at times. You know what I mean? But like, you know, once you exit that
Scene.
that theme, that kind of world, like, you know, trouble doesn't come looking for you, so you typically don't go looking for it either, because you're old enough to, you know, be mature about it, you know?
Right. Because the thing is, with Max Holloway trying to heart you, that was after, Conor was talking to Floyd.
Yeah.
I get it. He was trying to get a money grab.
I don't know what it was, honestly.
I don't think there's anything between you and him. I just think he was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let me try and get a fighter to react to
Conor
me.
made $100 million. Let me make a couple million.
Let me see if I can make half that, because I'm not getting paid that in the UFC.
And if that was what it was, I respect it. You know what I mean?
I think that's what it was.
You know, I never disrespect the hustle. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said, typically fighters, are athletes in general. Like, I've never been trolled by like an NFL player or an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been hit up on social media from them, and like, you know, in a positive way. But I've never actually been like MMA community became the strangest thing, bro. Like, it was like, it's one thing when fans troll you, because, you know, boxing fans even troll you, so that's typical. But when you got the athletes trolling, I'm like, bro, you know, there's a divide here. Like, you know, you're not a fan, bro. You're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the difference,
unless you're looking for a fight, of course, and like you said, maybe that's what it was. You know.
Well,
Well, like me and McGregor's trolling situation, like, we actually had a beef. You know what I mean? We were face to face. We sparred. We were in the gym together. We know each other. There's a legitimate beef there. It's not like I just picked him out of my ass and I never met the guy in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's legitimate beef there. You know, it's not like certain other situations where it's like you never met a guy in your life and you're now you're trolling. You know?
I'd have to think, like, you slapped Artem. When you and Conor see each other, it's on, right?
I mean, I don't think it's ever not on when me and Conor see each other. You know, me and Conor saw each other one time since all this happened. And I was on live TV working for Sky Sports in October on the Demetrius Andrade fight in Boston. And Katie Taylor was on the undercard, and another Irish fighter was challenging Tevin Farmer for the world title. So Conor showed up for both of those fights, and he was making his rounds around the ring, you know, like, and I was in press row, maybe a few rows back, working with Sky Sports. Now typically, you know, the foreign media will stay a few rows behind because they have to give the American television broadcasters priority on American soil. When we're in England, the American broadcasters have to give the English guys priority. You know what I'm saying? So I was about 3 rows back in press row, but he saw me and I saw him. But I'm on live TV. I can't get up. I'm on live TV and he saw me. He looked like he saw a ghost, but he saw me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he just kept looking the other way and just kept about himself. And I had to stay on live TV. He left after the Katie Taylor fight. I had to work the main event, so I never got off live TV. But that's the only time we've seen each other, and he didn't do anything. And best believe he saw me. He saw me, and he didn't do anything. And like I said, I can't get up in that moment. I'm on live TV.
Oh, I heard you shout out Demetrius Andrade there. Big Six Boxing. I know them very well as well. He's a beast.
He's a very good fighder, underrated, and I believe mispromoted in his career.
He might be the best middleweight in the world.
He's the most unknown talent in the world.
Triple G's been ducking him for years.
He's just, when you're a diamond in the rough, unfortunately, there's no reason to take a chance on you, because you're that good, and there's not as much of a reward as there should be for beating you. And if you get beat by you, there's not as much of a give from the criticism you'll receive for getting beat by such a good fighter, because he's not known enough. So it's unfortunately, it's a shame. But it's because, in my opinion, he's been mispromoted.
Yeah. Now, 2 things, Paulie. One, MMA fighters kind of make a scene more than boxers, because hang on, because if they make a scene and they,
I think that's entertaining. That's where I think I get some of the wrestling comparisons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, I don't really mind that. Like, I think like that's all fun. You know, I think when you're gonna watch 2 guys fight, you're going to get ready to watch 2 guys fight. I think the wrestling model is very good, because, look, wrestling is staged. So it's already known who's going to win and lose.
Where boxing doesn't do that.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, look at how many viewers they get just off of the blood and beef, even though the result will be staged. People want to see fighters who are going to fight not like each other. It's human nature. You know, you're not ready to play ping pong in there. You're not getting ready to play tennis in there. You're about to fight. So the example is wrestling, in that, despite the result being staged and known, don't get me wrong, these guys are athletes. They have to perform in there, but they're almost like stuntmen. But but the result is already known before they enter the ring, and
Right.
yet the bad blood that is shown, despite the result already being known beforehand, still sells tons. You saw MetLife Stadium with 80,000 people at WrestleMania the other day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The model is always combat. People want to see bad blood, and the problem is the world has gone soft. Like when somebody like me throws a slap or somebody throws
which
a
I
punch.
loved. I loved it.
I love that
I
slap.
loved it.
That was a
Somebody
bitch
throws
slap for a
press
bitch.
conference, but somebody throws a punch at a press conference or whatever. Automatically, the naysayers are like, "Oh, see, there's no need for that in the sport." Yes, there is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there is actually, because people want to see guys. They want to get amped up when these guys fight. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I did that because I wanted to promote the fight. I was going there to promote the fight. I was going to get in his face and talk, and we were going to get it on. But I just didn't like what he was saying, so I took offense to the things he was saying, and so I smacked him because I couldn't hit him. I could have punched him in the face. But then there would have been no main event on Saturday, and I would have blown the main event for the quarter. And I give Dave Feldman a lot of respect because he's done right throughout the negotiations and everything so far. You know, so I wouldn't have ruined the guy's main event by punching this guy in the face and sucker punching him. You know, because that's another thing about mixed martial artists, boxer, whatever. There's no rules in the street, bro. Right there, I thought about punching him in the face.
Gosh.
I thought about making that slap into a hook. I said, you know what? Smack him. You know what I mean? It's disrespectful, and he'll still be able to fight Saturday. You know
now, Paulie, number 2. Has it crossed your mind to put? Well, I know you're gonna put the whooping on Lobov, right? But if you fuck him up so bad that because Conor always wants to step in behind him, and try to be a big brother to get a boxing match between you and Conor.
Conor's too smart for that. Look, I'll put it to you like this. You know where he gave himself away if you're smart? After the smack, he put out about 20 pictures. Half of them didn't even land cleanly on those punches he was throwing in those 20 pictures, okay? Half of those punches were even partial landed. But he put out as much as he could. If he had a full video kicking my ass, believe me, it would have came out that night. He was so angry that I smacked his little bitch boy that he was trying to embarrass me at all he could. And all he could come up with was about 20 pictures, and half of them were not even punches landed clean in a 36-minute sparring, on top of the 7 seconds he has of highlight footage. If he had 36 minutes of ass whipping, believe me, last week it would have all come out. He was dying to embarrass me. He was dying, but he was, which I know gets under his skin that's all he has. It gets under his skin that he knows what I really did to him, and for me, that's the reason we'll never fight. He cannot afford for that to ever become a public thing, so he can never fight.
But that's the move.
That's the move.
Fuck his boy up and then say, "Hey, Conor, bare knuckle fight me or fucking box me. Either or, you'll catch these."
But all it's gonna do is put him on the spot. But we've already known when.
Well, he's got to answer the call. He's a bitch if he doesn't answer the call. We're from New York.
He hasn't answered the call in 2 years already, though. You know what I'm saying?
You know how New Yorkers do it, Paulie. We're going to set it up here at Menace and the Man. Conor McGregor versus Paulie Malignaggi is going to go down after
Bro, I'm going to
Paulie Malignaggi
expose
versus Artem.
his life. Where he went wrong is I'm always going to be a TV figure and TV personality for the rest of my life. I'm going to be a bigger deal than Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor is going to have his fame. His time is going to come and it's going to go. I'm always going to be on TV. I'm one of the best analysts there is. So Conor ruined himself by fucking with me because I'm going to expose him. I don't even need to lie. Like, he literally, think about it like this. We both haven't won a fight since 2016. You know that, right? The only difference is I retired for 2 years. Okay? We both haven't won a fight since 2016, but I retired for 2 years. You understand that? I don't have to lie. I can expose who he truly is without even making anything up. Like, I can just open people's eyes to facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not that good. He's very marketable, and he's making himself marketable, but he's been given that UFC platform, which is a big platform, and credit to him for taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, you know, he's not that good, you know, and he's got no character on top of not being that good. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, bro, Nate Diaz came in and beat him on 10 days' notice. You understand what that is? If that happened to Floyd Mayweather, where an opponent came in on 10 days' notice and beat him, they would never, ever forgive him again. Okay?
Oh, for sure. But Nate's a beast at the same time.
Doesn't matter. It's 10 days' notice.
That's true in the fight world, but yeah.
And Conor, instead of suffering through and saying, you know, this guy took the fight on 10 days' notice. Let me try to suffer through it and get to round 4 or 5. He might gas out because he's taking this on 10 days' notice. He quit. He didn't even want to go through that.
Yeah.
If you know your opponent took the fight on 10 days' notice, even if you're having a hard time in round 2, suffer it out. You know, thug it out. Get to round 4 and 5. You know your opponent took the fight on short notice. You know 10 days ago he was in Cabo San Luca drinking shots. Get
Oh,
the
for
round.
sure.
Get the round
Heard
fight.
that.
So,
You know what I'm
Paulie,
saying?
Paulie,
But
you
no,
see what we're doing here.
Expose his character for what it is. I got to expose his character for what it is. You know, a real man would have done that. You know what I'm saying? A real man would have done that. You know,
All right, Paulie, you see what we're doing here at Menace and the Man, right? We just want to shoot the shit, be all positive. We're not trying to ask like the stupid journalist questions. We're just trying to shoot the shit with some of the best fighters in the world. You see what we're saying?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go for it.
I don't know. So that's what we're saying. We just want to get. So let's make you a regular on the show. Let's get you on in a week or two, and let's get you on however often you want to come on.
Yeah, hit me up, man. You know, like I said, if we can make the time, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm around right now. I'm gonna leave town at the end of the month, but I'm around right now, and then I'll be back. But you know, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Long Island. I'm back and forth. I'm training daily right now, but you know, we'll make time. We'll figure it out.
Paulie, next time we have you on, I don't want it to be about anything fighting. I want to know how Paulie grew up.
We want some street fight stories. We want to know who you're fucking. We want to know what's going on in Paulie Malignaggi's life.
Whoa! Yeah, I want to get personal. Not fuck this bare knuckle fighting shit. Fuck those Irish motherfuckers. I want to know about Paulie in New York.
All right. We'll set it up.
Thank you again for joining us, Paulie. We appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Have a good night.
We'll
Peace,
talk to you
bro.
soon.
Could we have timed that any better?
We timed it pretty good. So
All right.
before we get out of here, NYFE, June 1st. Make sure everybody checks it out. We'll get Paulie Malignaggi to the fights on June 1st. Joe Romeo, J. Romeo Realtor on Instagram. The law offices of Michael Postiglione. Our boy Frank from Anthony Giarimita. What is it? Home Interiors by Anthony Giarimita. Or is it Anthony Giarimita Home Interiors?
Same
I'd have
thing.
to look
Same
that up.
thing to me.
But Anthony Giarimita's Home Interiors. And Terp House, movementbjj.com. Everybody check us out on MenaceTube. Shit's going to be popping here.
Fucking G Fuel running through my fucking veins, my dude.
You got me, Dennis. That's where I was going to close. And last but not least, we got to thank our guys, G Fuel. Eventually, we're going to be in our new studio in G Fuel offices. We're going to bring our boy Joe with us. And we're going to do big things here at Menace and the
Yeah,
Man.
but I feel like I said it way cooler than you, Stan.
You did.
As per usual.
You did. All right. Menace and the Man, episode 25.
Yep. Well, see you later. We lost.